Illinois school district teacher sentenced to 9 years in prison
Let's
for
try
stealing
this again.
$1.5 million worth of chicken wings.
Hell yes. All right, so did you restart it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
Are you making a new one?
It's already
Yep,
it's already going.
All right. Now I got to delete the tweet. Where did it go?
Okay. Crap.
You blew it.
I did. Okay, let's try this again. Can you hear us? Hopefully. Okay. Alrighty.
Hold on. Because of your screw up,
We are back in action.
Okay, did that work? That is the correct stream.
Dan, what is that shirt? Says Tyler Page.
You know exactly what that shirt is.
I didn't even realize you're wearing a T-Swizzy shirt.
Damn right, dude.
I love it.
We've lost them.
I love it.
You've 100% lost.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've
No,
lost
it's definitely Taylor Swift.
Dan Walker.
Yeah. Don't give a fuck.
All right, you ready? Let's rock and roll.
Posts are out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another episode of the Loose is Fast podcast, your podcast home for all things NASCAR and some things not. We are back in the studio after the Olympic break. So lovely to see your smiling faces. I am Kyle Belcher, and joined as always by Daniel Walker
I want to go back on vacation.
and Norman Pelletier.
Woo! I'm about to make a name for myself here.
On today's episode, we will recap the NASCAR news that we said wasn't going to happen. We were wrong. Recap
Blew
the
that
weekend at Richmond, which was totally uneventful. Have some fun, answer some questions, chat with y'all on YouTube all at the same time. But before we get into that and everything that is this splendid, potentially top 10 podcast, Dan, pay the bills.
What do I do? Kyle, what do I do?
Just read stuff. Make
thank our
people
I don't have
donate.
anything to read. I can't read anyway. We are brought to you
Not his fault. He can't read.
today, Junior.
Be nice to the delivery guy, would you?
Not his fault he can't read. How do we work?
Scuba Sam, Scuba Steve's father.
How do we work Waterboy quotes, or not Waterboy, Big Daddy quotes into every damn episode, every time?
If you want to be part of the Scuba Squad, you got to be smart.
It's because you do that so well. That's how.
Hey, thanks.
It's because you do that so well. I can do the Waterboy.
What was that other noise that you made? Oh, the dude from Wild Thornberries.
Austin Dillon.
That's my favorite
Austin
one.
Dillon coming to the checkered last night.
Austin Dillon coming through turn 3.
All right, we are brought to you this week and every other week, except the last 2 weeks because we weren't here, by the Revival Motoring Network, the Revival Motoring Podcast, and revivalmotoring.com/B4B. Norm, I know it's pent up. What does B for B stand for?
Bucks for the boys!
Oh, yeah. Bucks for the boys. That is our value for value system, how we help keep the lights on in this place, how we pay the bills. It's probably been lonely in here the last couple of weeks because not only did we take 2 weeks off, but apparently Topics did too.
They don't have an excuse.
They don't have an excuse. We had nothing to talk about. So we say.
Yeah, we thought.
You thought?
Did you thought?
Yeah, but Topics comes to the studio every week with nothing to talk about.
Oh, no. Fighting words.
Ooh, get him.
Get him. Get him.
I got him.
Yes, so that is our value for value system where if you find anything of value in any of the 3 podcasts, you can donate. My mic stand's about to fall apart. That was close. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
That's why you need to donate, because mic stands are falling apart and our pets' heads are falling off.
Our pets' heads are falling off.
So revivalmotoring.com/B4B, you can choose a monthly recurring donation, $2, $5, $10, or $20, or a combination of those to make a number you like.
69.
That will come out monthly, and it helps, like I said, it helps Josh pre-plan merch, which we have some in the works. We got a pretty big merch thingamabobs on the way, I think.
Yep.
Pretty good time.
Yep.
Keep your head warm. Boo. Norm with the normal volume up.
My phone is muted. I'm surprised it did that.
Yeah.
It's not, though, clearly.
It's not.
No, it's on the...
Yeah, YouTube's not.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, the ringer's off, but the volume's up.
Yeah, it happens.
So that is the recurring donations. If you want to make a one-time donation of monetary value, you can use PayPal. That is info@revivalmotoring.com.
Great place.
That is also the home. You can send us any amount of money you want on that one, from $250,000 to $250,000, whichever you like. Danny, are you listening? $250,000. That's all it takes.
Yep.
We'll pledge our allegiance to you. I'll put that fan club plate on my truck
Again.
Do it.
for $250,000.
Worth it.
$500,000. No. Yeah, $500,000.
The question is, Denny, are you all in on the Lucis Fast podcast?
He should be.
I think you are.
He should be. That's also the home of. Oh, and if you do either of those monetary donations, leave a note and make sure you say that we are the reason you are sending it, not Topics and not the Revival Motoring Podcast, us at Lucis Fast Podcast, because then they have to acknowledge we exist, which is fun for us.
Yeah, it is.
As the forgotten stepchild. We live under the stairs where Harry Potter.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, just less magical.
Freaking love Harry Potter.
More out of shape. PayPal is also the home of Kyle's Race Day Challenge.
Oh, that's me.
What's
Who's
that?
Kyle?
The race day challenge is if you donate the dollar amount that matches the driver's number on Sunday and guess correctly. Did I say that right?
Yes.
I'll send you a little something.
It's going to be a learning curve today, folks. We've had 2 weeks of not thinking about this. So
Yeah.
3 weeks, whatever. Other ways you can help us out. Our favorite is by leaving us reviews.
Good
You
news.
can leave written reviews on Apple Podcasts.
Good news.
What's that?
There's 2 of them.
There's 2 of them. I know. I've been watching them.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for like a week to fucking read them.
I didn't read them. I saw them, though.
Yeah.
I saw that they were there.
So we have 2. We have one from somebody named DeBarro.
Never heard of them.
Never heard of him. 5 stars.
Stand-up guy, though.
The question is, did this review delete a 1-star review that we previously got?
No.
You did not.
All right.
That was a problem.
the culprit.
That was a problem we had at one point.
That was a theory that did
Yeah.
not get proven.
So DeBarro, what'd you call him? Just now.
Good guy?
You said he was a stand-up guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, because his review is stand-up guys with a,
Nice.
with a true passion for racing and all things NASCAR.
And a passion for you. Love you, buddy.
Checkered flag emoji. And then
Enjoy
our
those Natterdays, brother.
Love
second
you.
one from Tyler V.0. 10 of 10 would recommend. 5 stars. In the top 3 NASCAR podcasts out there next to DJD and DBC.
Hey, we will.
I'll fucking take that.
That is
I'll
strong
take top
company.
2 at this point
In
because
the-
DJD has fallen off.
In the spirit of the Olympics, bronze is still a medal.
Damn right. I don't see your bronze medals.
Although, did you see, I know you said you didn't really watch a lot of it. Did you see the skateboarder, Elijah Houston, his bronze?
Naja.
Nija, whatever. He won it, and it was like
Oh, yeah.
it
All
went over the
tarnished.
weekend, and it was like destroyed
Yeah.
from like sweat. And
There's a ton of them that are like that. I guess they're all getting it.
they said they can get
replaced
him
and
replaced,
stuff.
but he was like, really? Like 2 days of me wearing this, and it looks like this?
Yeah, that was bad.
That was not good.
I watched a ton of the Olympics.
Yeah. Oh, that's
I
right.
basically watched it nonstop for 2 weeks.
That's since
the
we
only
got-
thing I watched.
Since we got home from our trip, that's literally the TV has not changed off of NBC or USA because the Summer Olympics, being able to watch the most random fucking sports.
Dude.
Bro, competitive badminton is fucking electric.
I didn't watch any of that.
Electric.
I'll go
because
back and watch them.
It does not matter how hard they hit the thing. It goes
It's called a shuttlecock, Daniel.
like
Yeah.
the guy winds up and just it should be 100-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's like, pew.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
nuts.
awesome.
I watched. Did you watch any of the cycling?
Yes, the Bristol cycling.
That's what I said.
It's
That's
insane.
It's basically a green white checker for every race.
I watched the team one where they start with 4, and then every lap, the guy leaves
Yeah.
and goes off. But like the gearing is so high on them. Did you see the slow-mo starts where it looks like everybody's constipated?
Yeah.
They zoom in on their faces because the gearing is they're in like a super high gear. So they launch and they're like, the faces are the greatest.
Those things are going like 50. Did you see the dude get knocked out?
Yes.
Oh, he hit a ton.
I did not know steeplechase was a thing where they have to jump in water.
Yeah.
It's a track event where they have to jump over things, and then they jump over one into water. And I'm like, cool, now I get to run the rest of the race with wet feet. I'm out. I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. Steeplechase is wild.
Yeah,
I
dude,
want to
was-
know what these people do for 7 years
Train.
of their life. Is there money?
No.
Well, some of them have endorsements and stuff. Well, they do other competitions too. Like a lot of
What's
them.
7 years?
In between
It's
Summer
4
Olympics.
4 years.
It's 4.
Isn't it 4 years,
No,
Winter
it's 2.
Olympics, 4 years?
No,
Oh, I thought
it's
it was
every 2 years is winter. Now.
It's 4 year gaps in between, but there's 2 years in between summer and winter.
Yeah.
I thought it was 4 years winter, 4
No.
years
No,
summer,
so
4
basically
years
every
winter.
2 years you get another Olympics.
But I love the Summer Olympics, the amount of, like, why is breakdancing in the Olympics?
Yeah, that's new.
That was bad. That was
Oh,
not good.
Shout out Australia. Y'all suck at breakdancing.
Did you see the girl that, like, won? She's like, I trained for 37 minutes, and now everyone knows my name.
Yep.
Like, she was basically like, I'm not an athlete. Suck it.
Yeah, good
But,
times.
Yeah, so
Yo,
those
shout
are,
out though, Turkish shooter.
that guy rules.
You're my boy.
So yeah, you can leave us reviews on to get this train back on the tracks. You can leave us reviews on Apple Podcasts. We'll read them and love you for them because those are fun. I have not looked at Spotify in weeks, so we think we'll be up or down. What we were like $140 something, weren't we?
Yeah,
147.
I think 147 sounds right. It's
a good number.
What do you think? Up or down?
big Ricky Stenhouse guy.
Well, we can't go down. Can't go down.
I think
Actually,
we're at 153.
we can't
now.
go down.
151.
I'm gonna go 150.
Da-da-da-da-da.
We got 148.
All right. Close without going over, we all lose.
We all lose.
So
So that is your B for B minute. Those are ways you can help us non-monetarily by leaving us reviews. Share the stuff we post tomorrow today when this comes out. Tell your friends. Tell your mother. I heard somebody apparently played the Revival Motoring podcast on a plane for everybody to hear. Do that. Just
play it out loud.
Play it. Apparently somebody did that allegedly. So.
Yeah, do that. All right. Well, we will get into the callbacks. Quick callback to previous. The Indy race got a 26% increase from last year at $3.63 million.
Oh, you mean the most boring race in NASCAR history? We outperformed that.
Yes.
Nice. I'm proud
Yes.
of that.
So, yeah, that's that. Now, we have to call back to our favorite race picks. With a 3-week average finish of 13 and change,
A win's a win.
Norm wins yet again
We can hit him, right?
with the pick of Kyle Busch finishing what? 16th?
12th. He finished 12th.
McDowell, you finished 16th with him one last time.
Doesn't matter where they finish as long as they beat your slugs.
Sure does. That brings Norm's total to the front of the pack for the first time. Norm with 14 points. I am trailing by 1 with 13, and Dan is just waiting.
I'm
He's got
drowning.
us
I'm
exactly where he wants us
Yo, it's been a good
with
summer
4
stretch
points.
for old NP3 Motorsports over here, all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In 3 week.
I got you guys right where I want
3
you.
weeks back
Right-
to back.
Right where I want you. It's going to
Yep.
be Tom Brady in the 4th against Atlanta over here.
28-3, baby.
28-3.
You can overcome less.
Yeah.
All right, so now we have to pick for Michigan upcoming, and with me coming in last with my pick of Chase Briscoe. Thanks for nothing.
Also, if anyone was paying attention to those picks, we were just joking about it. It was a race for last the whole time. We were all in like 21st.
I was watching it and I was just seeing whose names were actually on the top 20 leaderboard.
Literally, it was just trickling into 20th, like fluctuating between 21st and 20th.
Oh,
So like for
they're
like a
lap
brief
down, they're
second,
up.
like Briscoe pops into 20th and like, oh, peace out. Oh, Keselowski.
Yeah.
Oh, KFB.
That was me all night. I was like, oh, they're all a lap down. Oh, only one of them's a lap down. Crap, one of them's... I was like, all night. Oh, it was so bad.
It was terrible.
It's not like usual when one of like either somebody's pick is really good or like somebody's pick, mine usually drops out really early. Like we were all in that same spot the whole race.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, when they had to hand in the Hobby Lobby scissors through the window net of Kyle Busch's car,
Bro.
I thought it was all over.
I love Burton. Might as well have given him a butter knife.
Yeah, that was brutal. Yeah, those were rough. All right, so now we have to look ahead to Michigan. I am picking first. I'm going to take Mr. Bubba Wallace.
Smart pick.
Hopefully the motor stays in the car.
Yeah, the Toyotas.
We will talk about that, I'm
Later.
sure.
Yeah.
But not great. Why is it smoking over here? Norm, relax.
Sorry, I wasn't allowed to smoke at all today, so I'm getting it all out of my
so
system.
you're going to cloud me out over here.
Yeah, dude.
I don't even know how it was coming out from under the table.
He went under
Please.
and then
Oh,
Please.
anyway. Dan, who is your pick for Michigan?
somebody from the bottom of the barrel. That's for damn sure.
Not a whole lot left.
Give me.
Oh, you're gonna pick yourself?
Yeah. Give me. Yeah. I'll take myself.
That's probably a better
Maybe-
option.
Maybe the curse will hit me and I'll be out.
Finally.
Finally.
Sweet
way
embrace.
home?
Me, Hosevar.
Carson Hosevar.
Gonna ride that wave of the 8th place finish. Probably not.
Not a bad pick.
And following a absolutely stellar performance at Richmond, I'm going to go with Mr. Chase Briscoe. Because, he's on a hot streak. So he could do it.
Mildly warm streak.
Yeah.
He could be good.
So as you could tell, we are scraping the bottom of the barrel with our picks as we come closer to the end of the season.
It's
But the
getting
good news
ugly.
is we only have 2 more weekends of picking before we reset for the playoffs.
Oh, thank God.
And to remind everybody, we are resetting to basically the beginning of the year where we can pick everyone again, but once. No
Yes.
repeats again.
No repeats.
And to the winner of the regular season, we decided, 1 extra point?
Sure.
Sure. We'll go with
I'll
that.
take it. I'll take it. Whatever.
Look at this confidence. Look at this.
I mean, he is 5 for the last 7.
He's on a run. He's
He
on a
is.
hot streak, but I think he's
I was down bad. I think Kyle had me by like 4 or 5 points.
he's
at one
peaking early, I
I
think.
had you by 5.
point. Yeah.
I think he's peaking too early.
No, dude. Summer hot.
Then
Yeah,
you
then
got 2, I got 1, and then you got 3. So now you're up by 1. We shall see how it shakes out. Getting to be quite the tight race. Yep, rain is here. All right, now we get into no one's favorite segment of the show, which would be Norm's Scheme of the Week.
Oh, shit.
We nailed that,
I
actually.
forgot this was a thing.
Yeah,
I didn't look at any.
It's your thing.
Yo, it is big. It is big raining.
Kyle, pull up J-Ski because I don't remember what any cars looked like. I think the 14 was a new scheme. The
Terrible.
one car, I can't give it to him.
Terrible. I hated it.
I saw more angles of this car than I would ever like
It was
to see.
worse in person.
It was so bad.
The 2,
Ryan Blaney. Wait.
that's Blaney.
Scheme of the week.
Wasn't bad, honestly, because they fixed it. When they released the render,
Tell people what you're looking at.
the 3 car, the Bass Pro Shop.
Hunting sale.
Hunting sale.
Oh, he went hunting.
Oh, yeah, he was hunting, dude.
Yeah, he
but
was.
When they originally released the scheme, the text and the scheme were at different angles, and it looked really stupid.
Yeah.
And then they fixed it. The 4 was good, except for it has a boner pill on the side of it. Don't know what that's all about.
Why does it have a boner? It's Procter & Gamble.
I don't know. It looks like a boner pill.
Round P&G
Got a
logo.
blue
You're
chew
an
on the
idiot.
side of it. You don't
You're
know
an
what to tell
idiot.
you.
Hendrix the same. Built
Same.
Submarine 6.
I like
Cheddar's,
that Cheddar's car.
always a good scheme.
Yep.
Coca-Cola. Fuck, I forgot this
love this
existed.
one.
I thought that was sick for a scheme that wasn't supposed to be.
I have no idea what
This was
Slim
supposed to be-
Chickens is, but
It's a
apparently,
chicken. It's a chicken place.
chicken chain.
apparently Discord likes it.
Yeah, because Discord went off when somebody said, "What the hell is Slim Chickens?" And then we had a 1.5 day long conversation about chicken tenders.
Yeah. I like the 9 a lot.
That
I
might
do
be in
too.
the running.
10's the same.
I like that FedEx car.
11, interesting.
Yep.
I didn't hate it. 12, oh, fuck.
Is that like the best body armor scheme they've ever had?
Yeah.
I think
That
so.
one's sharp.
Only second to the one I painted for Joe Soul. This game's not bad, but it's just their typical kind of tribal-y design.
Yeah.
Didn't even know Riley Herbst was in the race. Ty Dillon, proud brother. 17, love this scheme.
That's
in
such a
white,
good
dude.
scheme.
So good in white.
19's the
Truex,
same.
that was probably a picture from
I liked
practice.
all the plywood and framing on this. Like I thought it was
Yeah.
kind of cool. Like
the
how
DeWalt schemes are slowly getting better.
like I didn't even notice the studs on the side.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even notice that. I saw the trusses on the back.
Stud
and-
inside, too.
Yeah, I noticed. Well, yeah. Till he sped.
Yeah.
Moron.
22, 23, 24, much the same.
Are we in the Valvoline streak? Because I feel like he's had that car for
He's
like
had that
fucking
scheme
3
Yeah.
races in a row.
38 was
I
good.
love that
41
Mohawk car.
Mohawks. Just good colors, dude. America.
Yep.
45. I don't know if he's run the mobile scheme this
Yeah,
year.
we've seen that one
we've seen
a
it.
bunch
47
of times.
actually wasn't bad looking.
No, it wasn't terrible. Ally was the same.
I
Pinnacle.
like that scheme minus the Pinnacle logo. It's just,
He doesn't get us.
yeah, it doesn't match the scheme.
It's so simple.
Gorgeous.
71.
Gorgeous fucking art.
77, 99.
I love this 99. It's the same one as before. Are those what hotels we
Yeah,
decided?
they were like hotel.
Yeah,
It's like a hotel
hotel chain.
rewards program.
Really good scheme. I actually like that a lot, but the company bores me, so I'm going to go with Chase Elliott's 9 Coca-Cola scheme.
I think we can all
Good.
agree on that one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Anytime
like
there's a
obvious-
Coke, anytime there's a Coke car,
Obviously,
it's like,
they
hell
don't
yeah.
shake it up that much, but the black numbers looked so
Yeah.
much better than like Denny with the random chrome ones and
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. All right, so that does it for the callbacks. You gentlemen have any additional callbacks, or shall we head off track?
I've blacked out for 2 weeks, so
This is the Some Things Not segment of the show in which we call Off Track. Norm, what do you got for the folks?
Call this segment Skip Ahead. All right.
skip 30.
I did a couple things this week, past couple weeks. I didn't do too much. I didn't go across the world like some of us, but I did some work on the Silverado. Did the rear brakes finally on that because they've been yelling at me.
Really?
Turns out that they were just like the rust ridge had just built up so much
Yep.
on the inside of the rotor. I'm assuming it just sat a lot with the previous owner. Who knows? But did those realize that I hate working on new cars because they just make everything more difficult. Mm-hmm. I did the rear brakes on my buddy's 2016 Silverado last summer or the summer before. Legitimately took me 45 minutes jacking it up in my driveway. Done in 45 minutes, wheels on, out. My truck, because it's got an electronic parking e-brake, you can't get the caliper off. Like, you have to take it off at an angle. So I had to super compress it. Oh, guess what? It's a twist caliper because it's electronic e-brake now. But it's just like, they just took the easiest thing in the world, which is brakes, and made it difficult.
I had to buy a scan tool to do the brakes in Steph's Tiguan because
Yeah.
of the emergency brake. I had to buy a scan tool to compress the e-brake.
I watched somebody shoot a caliper out of a Tiguan before.
I had to buy a
And
scan
I've
tool.
told my dad's buddy had a Passat. He's like, I'm going to do the rear brakes. I was like, you need to get a scanner because you cannot disable those parking brakes by yourself. You need a scanner. Luckily, the Silverados are easy.
Yeah.
You just have to hold.
Control Alt Delete.
Yeah, there's a certain button. You have to hold it, and it'll turn it off for some reason. I don't remember exactly what button it was. But did that. Also, funny story, I took the S10 out this weekend. I was just
Nice.
running some errands. I go to the gas station by my house just to grab some gas real quick. Mobile, nice gas station. As I pull into a pump, and some dude in like a plain white box truck. Yo, what's up? I got $100 on you versus that Z06. And it's brand new C8.
Oh, no.
Tennis ball yellow Z06.
I think I've seen that.
like
Yeah.
2 stalls over
I've
from
seen
me.
that around.
I was like, nah, dude, I don't think I got that one. He's like, oh yeah, dude, whatever, dude. See ya, peace out, whatever. And
I'm not that guy.
I was like, yeah, I'm like, I don't think I quite have that or something like that. And I could see the dude, the Z06 looked over and just looked so pissed that we are even talking about his car.
Yeah.
Like, we can't even afford to mention his car. I'm like, whatever. I put gas in my truck. I go inside, grab a Monster, whatever I was grabbing, and I see the dude inside with the Z06. Couldn't look more like he owned that Z06.
Stereotypical.
Oh, my God. Backwards Velcro snapback Z06 hat.
Nice.
Yes.
Like Oakley gas cans in neon yellow
To match the car.
to match the car. Black shirt, I did not see the logo on the front, but it had a neon yellow logo on the front of the shirt. Probably was Z06 logo.
Came with the car.
Came with the car.
And just like looked like your typical like 45-year-old living in his teens bro that just bought this car because of the sticker and thinks he's the shit. Like, he just came from, I guess they had a meet at Anheuser-Busch.
The Bud show was last weekend. Yeah.
So he must have just come from that. So, he parked next to all the other C8s that
Yeah.
all look the same.
The Bud
that are-
show's sick. I used to go to that when I was a kid. That's an awesome car show. But I think I talked to my dad the other day, and he's like, it was really hot, and then it rained, so I didn't
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just like, that dude looked so pissed that we even mentioned him.
Oh yeah, because you're peasants.
Yeah. And he leaves and fucking.
Yeah, those sound. It sounds. I've seen a
It
couple of them
sounds
around.
so cool until it shifts.
It's got
and
the
then
DSG
it just
farts.
shits itself.
DSG farts.
Yeah.
In a Corvette. It's
God, I
weird.
hate automatic sports cars. But yeah, I just thought that was funny
That is
because
funny.
I was like, I didn't even see the thing, and the dude in the box truck's like, "Yo, I got $100 on you versus that Z06." I was like, "Where the fuck is there a Z06?"
I don't see
like,
those
that
Z06.
hideous thing, dude.
Yeah.
Should have ran him for pinks.
I did that yesterday. We went golfing, and some guy, the golf course we play all the time is C7 Heaven. There's
Yeah.
like 6 of them that hang out there. white one with a license plate golf cart, just a regular white C7. But yesterday I'm driving in, I'm like, what is that? Banana yellow Z06 C7. I'm like,
it's so common now in the ridiculous color.
but it's such
awful.
a good looking
Oh, and
car.
then they do the matched interior with them, and it's so bad.
Anyway. So, Dan,
Yeah.
what do you got for the folks?
Our international man of mystery.
Yeah. Busy first half of the fucking trip. I mean, we had our 3 concerts in 10 days extravaganza.
Yeah.
Blanket Fenway was sick. That was such a good time. Being a little warm, standing up for fucking 8 hours on the rail, but
Oh, yeah.
we had early entry and shit, so we got right up there. It was awesome.
You guys were in a great spot.
It was a really cool spot, except
Yeah, literally
for
like front row, right?
well, yeah, we got early entry tickets, so we were right on the rail. The only thing that sucked is they had an overzealous fog machine that was in my face the entire night. Like, we didn't see it until after we stood there, and I'm like, the fuck is that? And I'm like, oh, no. They come out, and in all my videos, you can hear it. Like, you'll hear the music, and you just hear, and then we get fogged out. It's like, God damn it. So that was sick. Then we went to Munich. Fucking, dude, that city's unbelievable. Like, the cleanest city I've ever been in. Such a cool place. Everyone was super nice. I feel like it was the same as when we went to Scotland, when we went to Edinburgh. I didn't feel like I was in a different city. Like, I still felt like I was, because there was a shit ton of people speaking English. It wasn't like a jarring difference.
Culture shock, yeah.
Until, like, a weird car went by, and I'd be like, oh, Polo. Like, oh, yeah, that's right. We're in a different part of the world. Duh. You know? But that city's unbelievable, really cool. Obviously, as we talked about, I went to the T-Swift concert. Fucking coolest concert I've ever been to. That was unbelievable.
It's a cult.
No, dude, it was 3 fucking hours. It was I've never been in a place where everybody is so happy. Like,
Yeah.
And it was infectious. Like, everybody was
It's
there.
like the only good cult.
Yeah, like,
It's its own economy.
I was
All
saying
right.
it to Steph.
Leave my people out
I
of
was
this,
saying
all
it to
right?
Steph. We go to a shit ton of concerts, and the amount of times you go to, like, a rock concert or a punk show, oh, you wore the band's T-shirt? Fucking loser.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, people like, I love you, John, but I'm sure John's one of them. Like, oh, you wore the fucking band's shirt? Nerd. You go there, dude, and everybody's all dressed up in the outfits they've spent fucking 3 months making. Like, everyone had outfits from, like, the music videos or, like, shit she wears on tour or something even inspired by it. Fucking everybody were standing in line like, I love that. You look so good. Like, everybody's super nice, trading the fucking friendship bracelets and shit. Like, it was hot as fuck. So they were giving out, again, America, they let you die in situations like this. It was like 85. They were handing out waters. Like, we're waiting in line to just get in the place. Handing out waters. And you know after the marathon, the, like, space blankets?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, foil space blankets that reflect the sun? They were just handing those out.
That's awesome.
And all the people in line, there was a railing here and a railing here. So they tied one to each side and then tied them together in the middle. There was 100 feet of space blanket, and they made a roof.
Oh, that's
Because
cool.
the wind was, like, blowing it up.
That's sick.
So they were all just sitting in the shade under their space boats. It was the coolest atmosphere I've ever been in. So much we went back the next night because as I showed you the fucking hill.
Yeah,
in
that was
park.
wild.
That park is unbelievable. It's where they had the Olympics in 72. And you see all the things about, like, Olympic venues that just fall into disrepair. They still use this place all the time. Like, Metallica just played there. Coldplay is going to be there. The stadium is really cool. All the buildings are still there. They still use, like, the swimming place, all that. The whole park is sick. But the hill is unbelievable. Like, we got there at 2 o'clock. I have a picture on my phone, and just the tippy top has, like, maybe 100 people on it. That was a big thunderclap.
Sure was.
Cool. There was like 100 people at the top of the hill. I was like, yo, that's really cool. We go through the whole concert. My phone's a brick the whole time. We get home from the concert, and I start looking at my phone. I was like, yo, the hill got a lot. There's more than 100 people on there. It was 40,000 people outside the stadium the first night, 50,000 the second night,
That's insane.
on top of the 75,000 in the stadium.
Wow.
And we went back the second night to hang out. We brought a blanket, grabbed some beers, because you can drink everywhere in Germany. Like, they don't care. You get off the train, there's a guy selling beer. And grabbed a couple beers, grabbed some food. Dude, you can hear it clear as day. Like, you're in the stadium,
That's awesome.
outside the stadium. So we ended up the next day, we went to Neuschwanstein Castle, which is really cool. Kind of weird, though, because it's like, it looks like it's from the 1400s, but it's just a king in the late 1800s wanted a medieval castle, so he made one.
Fair.
But it's like, it's where it is. It's like, he's like, I want a castle on that rock, on that mountain, right there. I want it right there. So they built it. But being out in, like, going through villages and being out in Bavaria's, the places, it's like Steph said, she's like, I feel like I'm in a postcard.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're sitting on a
Gorgeous.
hill, and it's like, you can look out, and it's rolling hills. There's a village over there. There's one over there. There's one over there. You know, it's just awesome. Yeah, no, that city's unbelievable. I thought you probably saw my story, the park with the surfers.
Oh, yeah.
that river is I would live there. The whole park is just everyone hanging out. We went on a Monday. Everyone's hanging out, having drinks, wine, beer, whatever, making food, playing volleyball, playing yard games. And then it's like, oh, I'll just go wade in this 2-foot deep river that's ice cold. Like, it was the vibes in that park were unbelievable. Like,
That's
I
awesome.
could just live here. But yeah, and that was a really fun trip. I'm glad we went. I wish it was a quick trip. We barely scratched the surface, and there's like, and there's fucking 10 other cities in Germany I want to go to. We were going to go to the BMW museum because it's right next to where the concert was. Looked really sick. Didn't do my research. We were getting ready to get on the train to go there, and I looked to make sure we were taking the right train. I looked at Google. Closed on Monday. It's like, oh, never mind. We're not doing that.
Darn.
So, but yeah, and then we came home. We had Alan Jackson that Friday night. It was an amazing concert. He still sounds unbelievable. Kind of sad, though, because he's like 63. He's not even that old.
No.
But he has like a degenerative disease. So like start of the show, he comes walking out and he's like got to have his hand on somebody's shoulder. And he like sat most of the show. And I mean, they almost had to carry him off the stage. Like he could barely walk.
It's awful.
But he still sounds unbelievable. It was such a good time.
Oh, you hate to see that.
Yeah, it's tough when but it's like, holy shit, he's not even that old. But
No,
obviously he's going through some shit. But yeah, and then just been home, getting back in the swing of things. I think last week was my first full week of work in like a month and a half.
Yeah.
Well, because it was
Been
Loudon.
on the world tour.
Loudon, then 4th of July, Pocono. All of these weeks have bled into each other.
I know. I was there for those ones.
Where I have a day or so, a day or two off each week because it's either you're going somewhere or coming home from somewhere. So it's like Loudon, July 4th, Pocono, Germany. Like, and then finally it's like, oh shit, I got to actually work a whole week. The last week fucking dragged.
Oh, I bet.
I got to Thursday and I was like, how is it not? Or it was like Wednesday. I'm like, this has got to be it, right? Like, oh, fuck, it's only Wednesday. Like, but yeah, it was a fun as hell off week. I really enjoyed
it looked wild.
It was awesome to be able to go and not like last time we went to Europe. It was like, oh, I'm missing races, and like I zoomed in with you guys. It was nice to just like not have to think about what I'm missing.
Yeah, I get it, dude.
Yeah.
I don't miss you. I miss him.
Aww.
I barely miss him though. But
And we'll never have this again, so don't get used to it.
oh yeah, that's a good point because
The next time the Olympics happen
be
is
Turner.
the Winter Olympics is 2 years, and then summer it'll be
either
not
Turner,
on NBC.
It'll be Turner, Amazon,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. That was,
So yeah,
yeah. Then
kiss the 2 weeks goodbye.
Then the last week, like I said, I've literally watched nothing but random fucking sports.
Oh, I've watched endless Olympics
Like,
the last 2 weeks.
I don't care what it is. I'm gonna watch it. I watch handball, water polo, fucking like I said,
Yeah.
badminton. I'm on board on all of it. So
Tyler Page, I am not the only one that can see the chat. They can see the chat as well. Yeah, for me, I did a lot of house stuff. Bonus room above my garage was kind of like a catch-all of boxes and just junk because it was this gross shag carpet room and it was gross. So I tore that apart, put new flooring down, painted everything, updated the switches and outlets and whatever. So just, yeah, pretty much worked on the house at nauseum for the past 2 weeks.
you have toxic productivity.
Yes. My soon-to-be brother-in-law's wedding. Nice small little wedding. It was like 40 people there.
You went to a wedding?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah. My fiance's brother. There was like 40, 45 people there.
Yeah.
It's like this little outside venue. They had an indoor section, but they had like lawn games and stuff outside. It was great. Super low-key. It was chill.
I
yeah,
prefer
that's about it.
small weddings.
Yeah.
Like Dan's wasn't huge.
Ours was
By any
I think we
means.
had like 100 something people. It wasn't massive.
My
It was-
sister's is still one of my favorites because it was just like immediate family. We all went up to Attitash.
Yeah.
And they had like a tiny little ceremony with immediate family. So it was just like a
I think
vacation
it
that they got married
depends.
in.
It depends on the person.
Yeah.
There are certain people that's like, I know I want a big wedding with them because it's going to be fun. Like their family's fun. Like they're fun. I'm going to want that whole experience. And then
Like
there's
me.
yeah, like yours is probably going to be going to be awesome. But then there's some people you're like, it'll be more fun if there's only like 20 of us there. You know?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, not a whole lot
Car-
else. Fiance's birthday, went out to dinner like 3 times in a row. So, yeah, we had a good time.
Carteropolis, I know they're called pools. I just more meant it's the building that had all the diving and the swimming, and they called it the Schwimm Hall.
Schwimmhall.
Schwimmhall.
Come down to the Schwimmhall.
First thing I did was
We
send
got
Kyle.
very good water.
The first thing I did in Germany was send Kyle a video with the music from Instagram.
Yes.
That's all I have to say. You should know what song it is. I just sent him a video of a Porsche outside my hotel room, and I was like, "This sounds way more funnier when I'm in Germany."
It sounds
Didn't
way
you
funnier.
open it in front of a client?
Sure did. Sure did.
I was
With
like-
audio on and
I was
everything.
like, he's like, "Oh no."
It was hilarious, and he laughed at it. So.
Oh man.
Cool. Now that we've bored you to tears, let's get to it.
Breaking news.
The news. You can stop skipping now.
The news. We didn't think that we would have a whole lot of news to talk about. And boy, were we wrong.
Yeah. What was our quote at the end of the last show?
Nothing's
We're
gonna
taking
happen.
2 weeks off because nothing's gonna happen. I mean, not a lot happened, but some big shit happened.
Yeah.
Enough to make a grown man cry is what happened.
I cried.
Yeah. So let's start with some of the non-major talking points, and then we'll get into the talking points at the end.
Sure.
All right. So let's start with Trackhouse. Trackhouse in the news because Daniel Suarez signs a 1-year extension.
And Pitbull's selling. Oh wait.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a big rumor mill going around that Pitbull was going to be leaving the team.
Justin Marks was like,
No.
"Nah,
No.
I will not be hearing this."
Not the case. Some TRD news over the past 2 weeks as well. I'm sure anyone who's a fan of the sport knows David Wilson, president of TRD. He will be retiring, and not to confuse everyone, but Tyler Gibbs will be taking over as president of TRD.
Not Ty Gibbs. Also,
Tyler.
Also not related to the Gibbs family at all.
No, not to confuse everyone. That
yeah.
man needs to change his name.
I would legally change my name now.
Yeah. A little bit of JGR news happened during the break. Not for any good reasons, but Adam Stevens will be MIA for a little while, working from the war room because doing some back flips or front flips or whatever on the diving board, decided to blow the smithereens out of both of his knees.
I never heard what actually happened.
Yeah,
I
think it was his niece and nephew or something like that he was doing like
Playing in the
flip
pool?
competitions,
Yeah.
playing in the pool, and blew his knees to smithereens.
Buddy,
I don't think it was like a landing or something. I think it was like
Probably the bounce. yeah,
on the kick up.
dude, like
Both
buddy,
of his knees went.
You gotta know.
Later.
You gotta know when your knees ain't designed like that anymore. You ain't a kid.
Yeah, he pushed it a little too
Dude,
far.
when they said double knee, I was like, imagine blowing out both like MCLs at the same time. Ugh.
Yeah, it was. I don't know what he
They didn't
blew out. I
say.
think
But
it
at
was,
the
it was a
same
tendon in both of them.
time, like I said on Discord, is it not ironic and fitting that Toyota, the company that has invested so much in these next gen pit boxes,
The mobility pit boxes, yeah.
and they advertise them every week, and it's a super awesome invention, and great to see them endorsing this and kind of helping out the people that can't normally access a pit box. Adam Stevens, you have no excuse. You can make every race.
Did you see them trying to fashion a seat for him?
Yeah,
With
they're
all
pouring the foam.
and shit. They were like pouring because he can't like his legs are like stuck straight, kind of, or I think that's what it was, and he needs to like be able to have like stretch. So they were making like a seat out of like seat foam and shit for him.
Oh, patellars, both patellars. Connect the part that connects your kneecap.
I
to
couldn't
the shin
imagine
bone.
having blown out one knee. Never mind both at the same.
I
I mean,
blew out one knee years ago, and it hasn't healed right, given I don't have the doctors he has.
A quote from Stevens: "I felt like my flips weren't quite as impressive as my 15-year-old son, so I amped my game up a little bit, and it was fine."
until it wasn't.
And I exploded from the waist
So my
down.
question
My
is,
last trip, probably now ever at this point, I jumped a little too hard and loaded up a little too much.
so my question is, did he then end up in the pool with legs that didn't work?
Probably, yeah.
Like someone had to get his ass out the pool.
Oh, God, that's not great.
Carteropoulos said on YouTube that MRN said last night that they are attaching the lift to the pit box as we speak.
Hell yeah.
They're going to probably adapt that to the pit box. See the little camera they had last
They just
night?
called Booty, like, how do you guys do this? We need help.
Did you see the little ring camera they had on the pit
Yeah.
box last night?
Yeah.
And
Well,
they're like, oh, and Adam Stevens is in the war room, and he can see when Christopher Bell's leaving his pit stall. First pit stop drives directly into Eric Jones.
Yeah, he had 2 pit road
Yeah.
blunders.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Adam Stevens is like, fuck, I'll do it myself.
All right. Bristol Motor Speedway in the news because they announced the Speedway Classic in 2025.
This is so dumb.
The Atlanta Braves and the Cincinnati Reds will be playing a Major League Baseball game inside of Bristol Motor Speedway.
I like the concept, but seeing the artwork, someone did like fuzzy measurements. Like if the last row are way up high in the middle of the corner, so the ball field's like in, let's say 1 and 2, like in the infield right there. They did the measurements from like home plate to the wall. It was like, normal baseball, like 390, whatever. Then it was like 40 feet of track, X amount of infield. And then they did ball, like relative measurements to the top of the grandstands. And it was like, it's like a quarter of a mile away.
Jesus.
They're like, you're going to have binoculars and you're still not going to be able to see.
Yeah.
It's going to be like when they do the Winter Classic at Fenway and the only good seats are like the monster seats or the boxes way up high. I had friends that sat in the bleacher seats for the first Winter Classic and they said all you could see was helmets going around. Like you couldn't see anything. They were all just watching the big screen behind them.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It's cool. It's first show.
To me,
it's not going to be a great experience.
To me, the college football game made more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that made
Yeah,
sense.
a football game makes a lot more sense, but just purely based on the shape of the game.
Yeah.
Like, shape of the field, I should say.
Yeah.
Dude, you know why they did this?
Why, Norm?
Because they need to use that freaking dirt they've been saving for years. And they no longer have a dirt race. So like, fine, we'll fill half the track with dirt and put grass on it.
It's going
to be cool. I'll probably watch it, but I'm like, what?
I'm going to watch like the first inning
Well,
and then
there's
I'll
gonna be
lose
what?
interest.
20 feet of dirt in the center of the garage area because they have to make it almost like level with the track.
Probably.
Because the dirt's going to be above pit wall because they got to go over the walls with the field.
Yeah, it's going to be ridiculous.
So it's going to be quite the show watching them build that.
I wonder if they're going to fill the place.
That's the problem.
I don't think it's the cross promotion NASCAR's looking
Yeah,
for.
and in the render, if you look too, they have temporary grandstands up like behind the baseball field.
As if they need more seats in Bristol.
Well, I think they're not going to sell
Well, it's
the
more
other
like
side
it's
of the
dugout
track.
seats.
True.
Yeah.
There's
just your
150,000 people in Bristol.
Yeah,
It's just your low home plate seats.
It's just
that they
weird.
have
Like I don't know. It's very strange. And
We'll
then
see. We'll see.
The best part about the whole announcement was we got our favorite thing, and that is cursed show cars. The cursed show cars live.
They live on.
One of them was bad. Norm was like,
Dude,
that decal's on upside down.
I love breaking down show cars because like I'm so nitpicky with that shit. I'm like, those fog lights are upside down. That grill is off of a Chevy SS Gen 6 car, and they have it on an Impala car tomorrow.
It was so
Like
bad.
the center grill is 3 inches too high, and like I love breaking down show cars.
Yeah.
'cause
They
it's
do
so
not
fun.
try.
They don't even. We do it all the time. We go to the track, and you'll see one sitting at some booth, and it's like, what the hell is that? Like you just got a car, and then you went on eBay and bought some headlight decals, and we're just like,
Good enough.
That
Oh
works.
yeah, that's like when you see they just buy all like the random just stickers, and it's like I have a Coca-Cola, a Mountain Dew, a Monster, a Red Bull,
yeah.
freaking Logitech, and like a whole bunch of just random stickers like associates.
Yeah, and then I love.
like, that's not how
I've
this
seen a
works.
few. There was a car recently came up for sale in like the street legal stock cars page, and it had like Impala headlights stickers, but it had like Fusion taillight stickers. Like,
Yeah, I saw
it was
that
like
one.
all weird, like cross.
You see the
braid.
Dale Jr. one that the stripes are crooked?
Yes. Yep. There's been a couple interesting ones lately.
Yeah.
Did you see the one that just came up? The Clint Boyer rookie car.
No.
It's a Gen 4 Jack Daniels car. It wasn't for sale. It was a guy showing his work because he used to work at a NASCAR team. He was a body man. It was a cutaway car that they made whole again, and he had to reshape, and it's a Twisted Sister too. He had to reshape all the metal, and he had a picture of it in raw, like no paint, no decals, nothing, just raw aluminum. And I was like, that is absolute pornography.
Leave it like that.
It was so cool to see like what it looked like because it was a cutaway car. It had half the sheet metal missing, like the roll bars were cut out of it and stuff. And they rebuilt it and had to rework all the twisted body panels and stuff. And the guy's like, "This is the most fun I've had since I've worked in the sport because I got to like redo my
Well, yeah,
craft."
Twisted
That's
Sister
awesome.
was like peak of them spending 6 months on a foot-long piece of
Yeah,
metal.
yeah. He
on
was
the
like,
right front fender.
he was like, it felt so cool to like break all these old tricks back out of the bag that I haven't had to use in 10 years.
awesome.
You know.
All right, keep moving here. We got Legacy Motor Club in the news over the past 2 weeks because Jason Burdett, the crew chief of the 84 and seemingly the vast majority of the 84 team, have been let go from Legacy Motor Club.
Legacy Motor Club still in the field?
Yeah, the 84 car actually does still have a couple left to go, allegedly. So what that means, we
he's
don't know, but they
racing
have been
and broadcasting at Phoenix, isn't he?
absolutely terrible. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see what's going on over there, but I don't even think they know what's going on over there right now.
No.
I think the goal was probably to have Jimmy in there to get some more additional data, but nothing is going well there on any team. So, got to try something. Wow, that's a strong
It'd be
thunder.
thundering out there,
It'd be
dude. I
big.
need my thunder, buddy.
Big
All right,
thunder.
now we'll get into some of the more talking point related ones. We'll start with 2311. 2311 announced that the 50 car's next driver will be Mr. Juan Pablo Montoya, returning for Watkins Glen.
I love when teams do that, like, we're going to reveal this driver, and it's a fuzzy picture or, like, a hand. This took the internet 0.3 seconds.
Oh, there was no hide.
The first comment was, that's Juan Pablo.
Yeah.
Instantly. Dude, what? I forgot all about this. I actually had completely forgotten this happened.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
what
yeah.
the fuck? That's so cool. I'm so
awesome.
excited. I'm so excited.
Absolutely
I love Juan
awesome.
Pablo. I don't expect a amazing performance
No.
out of him. I mean, dude's been on the bench for a few years.
He's
still
50.
He's still like driving coaching, I think is what he's technically doing.
Ricky Harden beat me to it in the chat. Hide your jet dryers.
Oh, yeah.
That joke is so fucking out. I got so sick of that so fast.
I did too, but
Because that
it's
was
still funny.
everything.
It's still good, though.
Yeah, that was
And it's still true.
I love Juan Pablo. He was one of those people. He's like Tony Stewart, Robbie Gordon. It's like, just put a microphone in his face, dude, please.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's going to say some freaking crazy shit. And we all
Mic
are
him
here
up for
it.
this one.
Oh
That'll
my
be
God.
awesome.
Oh, yeah. I want to hear him fucking talking shit about Carson Hocevar and
Oh, yeah.
all these young kids.
Oh, my God.
I'd love to hear him rip them apart.
Yeah. And Ricky Stenhouse, leave this one alone, all right?
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, please. Freaking Stenhouse. Is that a foreigner?
America!
Fuck yeah! That's probably just playing on a loop anytime there's an international driver. He's just got it going in a loop in his headset.
Ricky's just in the car, just slowly pounding the
Because
steering
who is
wheel
he? Because he's
as he stalks them.
Because he's taken out like everybody. That any international racer.
Kobayashi got taken out like 17
Kobayashi.
times by him.
Is he taking Van Gisbergen out?
Jensen Button.
Jensen Button.
Took him out.
Yeah, he got SVG at Coda, I
He
think.
got SVG somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, he just has a disdain for you.
If
not
you
being
were
in the-
not born here, Ricky is going to take
he's
you
gonna
out.
get you. He's gonna get you.
Joey Hand, I think he
He-
got him at
yeah.
Indy.
Yep, he
Yeah.
got Joey Hand. I forgot about that one. Oh, I'm surprised he hasn't got after Boris said yet.
Boris is American.
Boris, that's the most American
Boris
man in the
from
world.
like Wisconsin.
Yeah, but his name, Ricky probably hates.
That was a really bad attempt.
Yeah, that was a try.
I'm
What
sorry.
part of his name is triggering to Ricky Stenhouse Jr.?
I don't know.
Other than the fact that he might be in front of him at any point in time, so he's liable to get wrecked.
That's fair. All right. What do we have?
According to John Borst, Juan Pablo Montoya was racing LMP2 cars last year with his kids.
Oh.
He put him in anything.
Yeah.
I
I just
know.
know he's been like doing a lot of go-kart. I think he owns a shit ton of go-karts or a go-kart racing team because I know Jordan Taylor's
Yep.
posted a bunch of stuff with Juan Pablo.
I know we brought up Trackhouse already. I don't know if you had this later, but this involves Trackhouse, the Zilich to the 88 in Xfinity.
That's JRM, and
No.
that's where I was going next.
Okay, I was going to say, well, it's Trackhouse involved
Yeah.
because it's just yet another chapter of Trackhouse being like, we have too many asses and not enough seats. Can we pay you?
I think this is also Trackhouse being like, maybe Colleague wasn't the best.
Maybe Colleague wasn't the
wasn't
best
the
choice.
best development team for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's working out fine for one of them.
It's just unbelievable the amount of twisting that's
Yeah.
like, we have 14 drivers in 3 cars. Can we maybe pay you to just have, because you got what?
Justin Marks is playing chess.
You got Zane
Yeah,
and
dude's a genius.
You got Zane at Spire,
Mm-hmm.
SVG at Colleague, and now you'll have Zilich at
JRM.
JRM. Am I missing one? I feel like I'm missing one.
I mean, Zilich
Zilich
will
was
pretty
the
much race
developmental.
anything in trucks.
Was Zilich in the Spire truck at
Spire
Coda?
truck
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah.
this weekend. Too.
Oh, this weekend too. Yeah. Like
Didn't do well.
Justin Marks is just like, anybody that's got a seat, I got asses for it, and I got money to pay you for those asses.
I will make you switch to Chevy to put my guy in your car.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited that the 88 is going to be back full time though. That's going to be cool.
Yeah, and the question is, are they going to be running 5 cars or 4?
I know.
Rumor has it
sounds
doesn't sound like it.
The 1 and the 9 are not spoken for
Yep.
just yet.
We've heard rumors from people we know on the inside that Brandon Jones is going back to Gibbs.
We're hearing that Creed might be leaving.
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
the rumors with Haas are that it's 2 non-Ford previous drivers are going to Haas, so that could take a couple of those spots as well. So yeah, the Xfinity side, Xfinity doesn't normally like mid-season break news like this. This is kind of rare for them.
Yeah, silly season usually heats up for Xfinity later half.
once
they-
all the cup shit's figured out,
Yeah.
We
then
haven't
Xfinity
heard
starts.
anything at all, but Josh Williams, God, I hope he at least gets another year.
Oh, I hope so.
Did you watch Bubba's YouTube video he posted
Yes.
of the Legends? Dude, Josh Williams just like runs up to the car. He's
Yeah.
like, what are you doing in here, you no driving
You
son
know,
of a
driving
bitch?
son of a bitch.
I
While Bubba's
freaking-
sitting in his Legends
I'm
car.
mic'd up.
Yeah.
Love Josh Williams.
He's
dude.
the dude. He's the nicest dude. He's like just,
Everybody likes him.
Me and Kyle talked
And he's had a
about
rough year.
it. Me and Kyle were talking about it at Loudon. He was the only one. Was that Loudon or was that Pocono? That was Pocono. Or maybe it was Loudon. When we're sitting there and like all the other drivers are just standing there in practice, there's Josh underneath the car adjusting suspension and then throwing the tire. Like he's still working for
Pocono.
some like underfunded team.
Loudon is where he told you. Nice mullet.
That's why I love him.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited to see Connor Zilic run, but I'm a little worried at the same time because, I mean, this kid's great. Like, we know he's very talented.
Yeah.
I mean, he won 12 at Sebring, 24 at Rolex,
He's won every fucking Cars tour he's got in.
friggin' everything. But I worry because the expectations are so high.
Did you listen to the
He's gotten too many endorsements too early.
Did you listen to the DJD
Yes.
last week?
It was very good.
I love the kid's attitude though. Like how he was
Very mature.
He was supposed to run Coda or not Coda, the Roval this year. But he was like, "No, I don't want to. I'm already good at road courses. Can I go to Homestead because I need to learn ovals?"
Yep.
Right.
Like that's the attitude you need to have. Yeah, he could go to the Roval and probably mop up and maybe win the damn thing. But he's got the correct attitude of like, if I'm going to be doing this, I need to get better at big ovals. So put me at like a Homestead or a Texas or whatever,
Yeah.
so I can try that and get better at it. Which
Listening to his interview was great because hearing like his karting stories, all the times that he spent in, was it Italy that he was in most of
yes,
the time?
yes.
Doing a lot of karting stuff, and he was out on his own a lot. Like he definitely was forced to mature.
That'll make you grow up
earlier than normal. And just listening to him talk and listening to his interviews, like when we heard him at Coda, he's definitely many years ahead in terms of professionalism, maturity, being able to handle himself outside of the car. But I really worry that all the eyeballs, they're obviously going to be all over him, everyone watching him, seeing what he could do. But I just worry that the expectations are so damn high. If he doesn't meet them, he gets spit out.
Well, look at on a small scale in one weekend. We were at Coda. He gets the pole by a second and a quarter, whatever, resets the track record, blows everybody out of the water. We all go back to the house that night, and they're like, oh, not even worth watching the truck race. Zilic is going to run away with it. Goes in the first corner, blows it, and everybody on Twitter, oh, this kid sucks.
Yeah.
Because he had this massive expectation,
Yeah. As long as he can block out the noise, which there's going to be a lot of it.
There is.
I hope he does really well. He seems awesome, and I'm rooting for him. Same. I really worry about that.
On the bright side for him, though, he's going to a team with an owner that knows exactly what that's like.
Yes.
And if there's anything Junior is good at, it's managing his kids when it comes to spotlight stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe
Obviously,
not driving, but
the team management thing and like how to deal with rivalries and shit like that. That's all Kelly.
Yeah. Kelly's the one that made Noah
Kelly's
take
the adult in the
Taekwondo.
room. But Junior can sit down with this kid and be like, hey, listen, I know you have more eyes on you in the Xfinity Series than most Cup guys do.
Because,
I know what that's like.
Junior probably, if you look at the history of NASCAR, I don't think anybody has ever had a bigger spotlight than that kid did in 99, 2000.
Yeah.
Fuck, 97.
We had a fucking countdown to E-Day. It was 2 months of them talking about his first Cup start. Like, I don't think anybody in this sport, in the 76 years of this sport, has had a bigger spotlight put on them. So it's perfect for him if he sees maybe that the pressure's getting to the kid, like pull him aside and be like, hey, what do you need to know? Take him down to the old West Town. I can't have a beer with him because he's 18, but you know what I mean? Like, just sit down.
There were no drinking ages in the Wild Wild West.
True.
True. Good point. So we'll see. But I'm excited about it. It'd be nice to see the 88 back on the track as well. All right, now we will get into the last bits of talking news.
I don't want to. Skip it. Skip it.
We're going to talk about Spire Motorsports.
It's not real. It didn't happen.
We are going to start with the smaller bit of news out of Spire Motorsports. They just continue to throw money at anyone that they want. Travis Peterson will be coming over to Spire Motorsports to crew chief for Michael McDowell.
His current crew chief, the replacement for Blake Harris.
You know who I don't care about anymore? Spire Motorsports.
Dude,
agreed.
That was the one bright side of this entire thing is I no longer need to root for Spire Motorsports.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. I like it.
Yep. So as those that are watching on YouTube, I am wearing my Spire Motorsports hat. That will be
Kyle Busch hat?
Retired at the end of this season.
Potentially burned.
But I'm also
Can we
wearing
burn it in
the
the
stacking
parking lot?
pennies because we stand with Corey
Can we burn it in the parking lot and make a video about it?
after. So we are talking about Mr. Corey LaJoy because it was announced during the Olympic break, very beginning of the Olympic break,
Like the first day.
Yeah.
that
Wednesday, I
despite
think?
signing a multi-year extension last year, Corey LaJoie will not be returning to the number 7 Chevrolet for Spire Motorsports in the 2025 season.
He was not even given the chance to see what he could do with a real crew chief.
Super unfortunate for Corey. Obviously, we're all big fans of him. We've met him a handful of times. Nicest guy ever. Super cool. I pointed out pretty early on that I thought it was suspicious that he wasn't at the Rodney
I thought it was
press
weird.
release, and everyone kind of agreed with me, and everyone else was kind of noticing that as well. And then Corey obviously mentioned it in his podcast. He goes, "Yeah, I thought that was a little weird that I wasn't invited to that either."
Yep. I thought that was
apparently
very
him and
strange.
Skip had talked about that behind closed doors.
Yep.
But yeah, they announced that he will not be in the 7 Cup car next year. Obviously, there's assuming to be bad blood, so I don't expect to see him in a Spire truck or Spire Xfinity car. Super unfortunate. Obviously, I just fucking hate that I feel like Twitter won.
That's how I feel too, and it pisses me off. I have a funny feeling that Rodney had something to do with this.
Rodney, but at the same time, you're sponsors.
Yep.
That you're backing a guy because he has a hit podcast. He has fans.
Yep.
It's Gainbridge is okay throwing millions of dollars at him because they're like, hey, this guy, good or bad,
Has a
technically,
following.
good or bad performance-wise, he's getting us eyes. But all of a sudden, his image flips in 1 week on Twitter for something that I still don't think was his fault. And all of a sudden, he's the biggest bum in NASCAR, and everyone hates him, and the internet is in an uproar and laughing at him every chance
said
they
it
get.
perfectly. I think like 2 weeks ago we were talking about this in Discord, and it's not to generalize, but it's the Gen Z, the younger kids where
The cancel culture,
something-
mob mentality.
They see something on the internet that's everyone's giving Corey shit about everything that happened at Pocono in the aftermath of Pocono. We're talking in the days after. Lots of shit being thrown around. There isn't a post that NASCAR makes without people, oh, fuck Corey LaJoie, fucking nerd.
Stacking burgers.
Stacking burgers.
Yeah.
But I'm still seeing shit that there will be a post with nothing even to do with Corey. It will be the wreck last night with Priest and Stenhouse, and somebody will comment, bitch, oh, was that Corey LaJoie? Like, it's the younger kids that, like, they latch on to these trolling bullshit, and they just keep it going, and they keep it going, and they keep it going, and it's
It's the TikTok
Yes.
30 seconds of fame culture.
Yeah.
And
Which I
it's-
now think we're
it's
not.
the reason why we all listen to fucking Creed. Because Creed got a resurgence on TikTok, and all of a sudden we're like, you know what? We didn't hate Creed back in the day. We're
Yeah.
going to listen to Creed.
And it's
It's the reason why Shabuzi's bar song is popular.
and his whole album's good. But now I feel like we're not going to see shit about Corey because now everyone's going to turn their attention to Austin Dillon.
It's still, I saw a lot on Twitter, and it's like, you got to think, this dude's technically been fired. They are no longer going to invite him to competition meetings, or they're not going to give them all the data.
He's not getting good cars.
Because, guess what? He's no longer going to get as much sim time as he used to.
Yeah.
He's getting the bottom of the barrel shit because guess what? They don't care.
Yeah.
That crew chief next year, he's moving on. He's going upstairs into an office. They don't care what Sparks thinks about the car next year.
Yep.
Oh, guess what? Corey, yeah, we fired him. We don't care. Oh, the next race, he runs 34th the entire race? I wonder why.
I did find out he broke a toe link early.
Did he?
He smacked the wall or bent a toe link early. I found that out this morning, and I was like, that makes sense because he was in like 21st.
Literally
and then all of a sudden he was in
34th to
34th.
36th the entire
Yeah.
race.
Yeah.
But it sucks that they won. I feel like it's not 100% that.
It's
Who
not.
knows? Rodney could have come in. They're like, hey, listen, like, we're not 100% on Corey LaJoie. If he's somebody you want to stick with, we'll keep him. If you want
Yeah.
to try somebody else, we'll do that as well. But I've always liked Rodney, and I feel like Rodney isn't the go for the young guy. I feel like Rodney's kind of the I can shape a veteran that hasn't got a chance. Barry, the reason why he liked Barry so much. This is an older guy that he's just now getting his shot. I'm going to help him.
Yeah.
Kevin, he obviously joined with Kevin late in Kevin's career, in resurgence of Kevin's career. I felt like he was going to be the perfect fit for Corey, and I just hate that it's all it all fell apart
I agree.
for Corey.
I agree with like what Carter Opley says. He's like, I think this was going to happen regardless, but with the Pocono incident, it was just timing. It's not just the Pocono incident; it's the signing of Rodney, the shit that happened at Pocono, the firestorm that created, even though it was nothing.
The frustration at Chicago.
Yes,
And like I said,
and he's had a shit year. He's had a terrible year.
It could be Twitter, but at the same time, it's that car has now, it's not the worst car there because the 71, they still forget he exists. But Carson's come out swinging.
Yep.
Carson is very great. He's super aggressive on restarts. He gains a lot of positions there. But like I've said before, they unload faster because they have a more experienced crew chief.
Yep.
Guess what? Spire obviously knew there was a crew chief issue with the 7 because they moved Sparks out to get Rodney in. Mm-hmm. So what are they doing? They're admitting that they had a crew chief issue on the 7 car. So now you're just admitting that everything on the 7 car was broken because you just fired the driver?
Yeah.
I thought 2 weeks ago you admitted that the crew chief was the problem.
What I find really interesting was Jeff Dickerson on Sirius
Ugh.
a week later
Yeah, it was a solid week later.
effectively said, I'm not sure it's the right move. I felt like it was the best thing that we could do to have a fresh start, but I'm not sure.
Tells me that it's kind of Rodney's side.
That's
Super wishy-washy.
Yeah. Yep.
So I thought it was one of two things. Like you said, it was a Rodney call, which if it is, Rodney, you're dead to me. But I also wonder if the front office isn't really making the calls anymore. If they are now answering to who is signing the checks. Mm-hmm. So if Gamebridge has come in and obviously they got this huge influx of money,
Yep.
and now they got money to light on fire, are the people that actually run Spire running Spire?
It's a good point. I didn't even think about that. That's a
Are they shadow company for Andretti and Gamebridge and all these guys?
Yeah, whoever is fronting all that money,
Are they pulling the
we don't
strings?
want him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We want him out, and they don't have a choice.
Yep.
It just kind of blows my mind because it's like, who are you going to put in that car that you expect to do better?
That's the next question, and that's
fine.
what I
Yes,
wanted
you
to
can
ask you
get
guys.
Kyle Busch.
You now have McDowell coming in, who's kind of a veteran presence, if you will. You're going to have Carson Hocevar. Wouldn't you want someone established in that last car? McDowell is a proven winner. McDowell is very good, but he's going to be learning a lot of new shit.
Yeah.
He's going from Ford to Chevy. He's got to relearn a lot of shit. Wouldn't you want someone that's somewhat plug and play? Who's available that's an improvement to Corey?
I mean,
Honestly,
Corey has had, like you said, Corey's had an absolute shit year. Horrible. We thought this new crew chief thing was going to be a fresh start for him, but who is left that is a significant enough improvement to have to pay Corey because he's under contract? They had to buy him out.
yeah, they bought him out.
There's 0% chance that Corey had a performance clause in his contract because they suck.
unless
I don't
there
think
was
he
like
would've
maybe
signed it.
I wouldn't have signed it.
a top 30 clause is the only, that is like the lowest benchmark they could have set for that car.
Maybe, but I doubt it.
Yeah. And
So
I bet he's in the top 30 now. So they can't, by the time they announced it, he came back into the top 30.
Yeah.
they have to buy out at least a good chunk of his. So who is worth it to that team to burn that money to buy out Corey, to kick him out the door, to open the seat for who?
I
So
had two options.
Carteropoli says, rumor mill says Haley, which we've all heard.
Is he that much of
But
an
it
improvement?
says- but then Carteropoli said, because obviously Mike went to Charlotte this week. He did a tour with his kid of a bunch of the shops, which
Yeah.
unbelievable. They got a freaking Hendrick, just gave them rocker arms that say Hendrick Motorsports on them. Got the whole Jimmy's Bristol trophy.
You know,
like
Yeah.
you know in Grind, when they're like, get me a kid?
yeah.
That's what you got to do.
Yes.
Like
Gotta bring a
Carteropoli
kid.
brings this kid. He's all decked out in whatever shop they're going to that day. He's wearing all the merch. Guess what? That kid is getting you in every door.
Yep. So they went to the Spire shop, and he said, the guy at the shop said, he says, rumor mill says Haley. Guy at the shop said so too. Also alludes to what Kyle said about higher powers pulling strings.
There you go.
See, I just Haley. I don't think
Taylor
Haley's
also
it.
says he's available to
Yeah.
drive.
Taylor, get out. I don't think Haley is much of an improvement. I mean, he's good. He's doing really well in that Rick Ware car this year. But is
I
it-
wouldn't say really well. It's really inconsistent, but
He's had
better
good-
than they've ever had.
Yes, he's had good finishes.
He's had flashes.
but like,
Like I said, he needs a teammate in that program. I think will jump.
yeah, it's just.
We'll take a rocker arm in the mail.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, send it.
I just
I just
don't
don't.
know.
know if
What did
Haley-
you heard the other options? What
you
were
said-
you-
two
So
options.
obviously Kyle Busch is the loud one.
no. That's just. I don't think that's
I don't
happening.
buy that.
I
at
don't
all.
think he leaves RCR.
No, I don't think so either.
The
For
one,
Spire?
the wild card that I was thinking was Suarez, and obviously they signed
Yeah, that's
re-signed
over.
him this
Yeah.
year.
That's out.
But Suarez was the wild card I was thinking because that's a driver that he's proven he can do it. He just needs the people around him in the Trackhouse deal, especially with the rumors of Pitbull leaving. I was like, damn, could this be Suarez is out from Trackhouse and he takes Corey's ride at Spire? That was my only like wild card thought. I don't think Justin Haley leaves Rick Ware because that's kind of like the betting on you kind of situation where they're like, we'll do whatever you want us to do to make you fit our program.
Justin Haley is 2 points ahead of Corey.
Okay, so yeah, you're basically swapping out a round peg for a round peg,
right? But he's got their one win.
But
yeah, I don't think Justin Haley. Honestly, Sam Mayer
that's been a rumor.
Is probably likely, but I don't see him getting in the car and outperforming Corey.
I don't see him in Rodney.
And do you want a lineup of Sam Mayer, Carson Hocevar in his sophomore season, and McDowell, who's learning a whole new team and a whole new manufacturer? That is stupid.
Honestly, if they're bringing up a rookie from a lower series, I think my money would be on Sanchez.
No way.
He's the
Sanchez
Gamebridge boy, though.
But he's Gamebridge.
He's Andretti's boy. He's Gamebridge's boy.
Yeah, but you want to throw him up the cup? That's way to light his career on
you
fire.
You just said who's calling the shots over at Spire right now.
Right.
Gamebridge and whoever's behind Gamebridge. Well, guess what? This is a kid they picked out of the freaking kindergarten and they went, you're our driver for life. Well, guess what?
Yeah.
He's now 2-3 years
that
in
would
the
be
trucks.
A stupid
he's
decision.
Running decently. He's not amazing, but
yeah, he's done well.
He is that connection to Gamebridge to the Cup Series.
Yeah, that's a good point. That would be a massive mistake, but that's a very good point. I mean, they could also be money chasing and go with Herbst, try to get him.
Yeah, but then Herbst has all the rumors of, I mean,
the 2311
rumors and all that. I mean,
he races for Rick Ware all the time, but obviously he has a Ford and Alliance.
Yeah, we are just like
Dan. Carter Robley makes a great point. Marco Andretti to 7.
God damn it!
Imagine if that happens, Dan's never coming back to this show again.
I mean, you're welcome, everybody who doesn't want me here.
All right. We need you guys to sign Marco Andretti right now.
But yeah, I mean, there's
save me the drive.
Endless opportunities or endless people we could name in that 7 car.
Yeah,
I think there's very, very, very few currently in Cup Series. That I think would move. I don't think there's anybody.
If Harrison Burton ends up in the 7
Corey
car, we're burning that hat.
Like, sorry,
100%. I'm burning this hat as soon as we find out who it is.
Skothen's not in the chat, so he can't rage live. Would Priest be a better fit in that car than Corey LaJoie?
Me and Kyle were talking about this before you got here.
Not really.
Like, look at who is without a current Cup driver without a Cup ride right now. You've got Harrison Burton. He has what? Dex?
Yep.
But no fans, and he sucks. You've got Priest, who has no sponsors and fans. Like, he has some fans.
But I think that 7's fully funded.
Might be. I think, I don't know.
I mean, Corey has Celsius.
He's going to take Celsius, Schluter.
So Chili's.
Is Chili's go with him, you think?
He's in the commercials. It's got to be a Corey sponsor.
Maybe.
Because they don't put Spire in the commercials. They put Corey LaJoie.
True.
So what is Corey is funding, say, 8 races a year. Gamebridge is covering the rest?
Probably.
Because we've seen 3 Chili's cars, I think.
I think 3.
We've seen Schluter twice.
Once or twice.
And we've seen Celsius maybe 2 or 3 times.
I don't even remember the damn Celsius car. It's probably because they all look the same, so they all blend together.
It looks like the 16.
Yeah.
So I think Corey brings those 3 sponsors with him. Schluter has been with Corey forever. So wherever Corey ends up, he's going to be Schluter. I think he's going to be Celsius, which unfortunately makes me think he's going to Colleague Xfinity, but I think that'd be a death sentence.
That's going to be a sick-looking late model.
Yeah. His modified career is about to blow up at Bowman Gray.
That street stock's going to look fire.
But yeah, I don't know if sponsorship is the big issue on that 7 car.
No.
I think they're plenty funded. I think it's strictly performance, and I don't know who they're going to put in that car and immediately have the success.
They're not going. There's no one
that they're probably looking for.
Like I've said before, the reason why Carson Hocevar is outperforming Corey LaJoie is because they unload faster.
100%.
That they stole that crew chief from Legacy Motor Club last year. I don't remember the crew
You said it
name.
wrong.
Legacy Motor Club.
Motor Club. They stole that crew chief from Legacy Motor Club.
There it is.
I like it.
So they have a proven Cup crew chief they put on that car. Guess what? He is prepared every week for that next race. Sparks, great dude, amazing head of hair on that man. But he's not a Cup level crew chief, which is why they're taking him out of that role.
It's like I said when the whole Rodney thing broke. I was so excited for them to actually unload with a head start. not unload and be like, shit, we're 30th and be chasing it all weekend. And then Corey has to overdrive like he did yesterday and hit the fucking wall and bend a toe link.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's lather, rinse, repeat. They show up, they're slow as hell. They have to work on it in the 20-minute practice. Then you've got at least 2 pit stops. You're still working on it.
And we had a real practice this weekend, but everyone was just so worried about tires.
By the time they get the car even kind of working right, they're already a lap down and the race is over because they go a lap down in the first stage because they have a 30th place car. If they unload faster, it's a whole different ballgame. That changes your entire race weekend. Look at Austin Dillon this weekend. He's been nowhere to be found all year. They unload their fastest in practice. Look what happened. He's up front all race long.
Yeah, and he's in contention.
Exactly.
Corey needs to unload 18th in practice every week.
Yes.
And then he can outperform that car and run 13th, 14th.
Like Hocevar's doing. They're unloading 15th, 16th fastest, and he's finishing 8th.
Yeah.
You know?
So it sucks because we're all Corey fans. We all think he has the potential to be good, and it's the one thing we've been saying all year is I think it's the crew chief. I think it's the crew chief. I hate that was even a conversation because I like Sparks. He seems like a super good dude. I hated that it was like, it seems like it's a Sparks issue. We need to get rid of Sparks. And the team does it. And then 3 weeks later, they're like, yeah, you know what? Screw it. We're going to get rid of the driver too.
That's what I'm just so upset about with this whole thing is that we don't even get – I was so excited to see Corey get the chance with everything in order because Corey built that team. He's been there since they were we're going to start the race because it cost $100,000, but we get 110 to finish.
Yeah, in a car loaned to us from MBM.
So he's been there since the beginning. So I was so excited for him to finally get a chance with a cup-level crew chief, a championship-winning crew chief with cars that are seemingly getting more support and are better prepared and have speed because look at Hocevar. They have speed in that shop.
Yep.
I was so excited for Corey to finally get the chance to have an actual legitimate everything working. And then if he still sucked, then we look at Corey and go, maybe it's you, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we don't even get that chance. We don't even get he's going to end up.
And imagine Rodney, when Rodney can have meetings every week with Cliff Daniels, Alan Gustafson, Blake Harris.
Yeah.
Rodney is now in the Chevy camp. That 7 team specifically has had more ties to Hendrick than the other 2 cars.
Yep.
So Rodney was all of a sudden, he was about to be a kid in a candy store with his support from Chevy.
Carter Ropley in the chat says, what do we think of Corey saying Spire doesn't have a real win?
I agree with him.
I agree. He's not saying the win isn't real. He's saying the team was not real when they won.
Yes. They were.
They weren't.
That was
the trophy is real, but the banner isn't, is what he was saying.
That was the epitome of when they were a starting park. They just got lucky with the rain.
Yeah, that wasn't even a Spire car he wanted.
It wasn't.
It was a Spire sticker on the headlight.
Yep.
Everything else about that team was loaned to him from somebody else.
Yeah, and
Which is what
they didn't have a shop at the time, I don't
what
think.
his argument was.
And I guarantee you, I saw this argument because people lost it about that because that was still in the midst of Corey being everybody's fucking punching bag. I guarantee you walk into that Spire shop and anybody that was there or anybody that's there now and you ask them, would you rather have that, like, do you count that as a win? They'll say no.
No, and not a single person in that garage was there when they won.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you they would all say like, yeah, we won, but
we have it. No one was here for it.
exactly.
Yeah,
they weren't a real team.
Spire Motorsports LLC has a win.
Yes.
Spire Motorsports does not have a win.
Yes.
Yes.
So technically what Corey said
well
about he wanted to get the first win for them is accurate.
And of course, people are misconstruing that as well.
Well, that's how the world is today.
Right, and I think he phrased it properly.
I think he did too.
And it, like I said, he wasn't downgrading the win for Justin Haley. He was downgrading the win for Spire Motorsports because Spire Motorsports didn't exist when they won that race.
Yeah. So we'll see how it all shakes out. We absolutely hate it.
I just want
Corey forever.
I just want him to get a ride. I don't even care if it's not going to be Cup. I can pretty much guarantee. I mean,
the only seat I could possibly see him in Cup is the 15, and I don't think Rick's going to get away from Cody being in that car part time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I just hope he gets something somewhere. Even
Fourth
if
junior motorsports car.
Even if he, oh God, if he has to go down to Xfinity or truck, which he probably will. Hopefully he get. The problem is with trucks is the best team is Spire.
Right. And that was somebody, I think it was Carter Ropley said on Discord, rumor is he's going to a top Chevy team.
That's Spire.
Spire.
So he ain't going there.
I don't think he's going there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they offered them a ride, I don't think he would go there in
I
principle.
don't think he would either.
No, I don't think he should. So let's get into the weekend at Richmond, shall we? Yay. All right, we had the doubleheader weekend this weekend with trucks, and Cup Xfinity is still off until next weekend.
The trucks race this weekend?
Yep, we had the Clean Harbors 250.
It was the joke because nothing happened.
Yeah, pretty much.
Big time missed Xfinity this weekend. Though.
Same. I thought the Xfinity.
I was so excited for Xfinity. I was like, oh,
Xfinity
crap, I
this
forgot.
weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, so Christian Eckes leads the field to green. Majeski second inside. Pretty clean first stage. Eckes does win the first stage and wraps up the regular season championship.
Oh, yes. So in case you didn't know, because we've already started the recap and I didn't realize it till halfway through the race, this was the last race of the regular season.
Yeah.
Talk about brushing that under the rug all race long. Like they barely talked about it.
It really did.
I saw them, and I got a lot of freaking grief for this on Discord because like I was watching the race at like half volume.
Yeah, I was barely
paying attention. I was like peeking over my phone at like what's exciting happening. And I know they talked about the cutoff line like at the beginning of stage 3 or something like that. And I was like, oh yeah, cool. And then the race ends, and they're on Daniel Dye's onboard. And I was like, you're on the wrong truck, dude. He didn't even win the race. And then it turns out that he locked himself in the playoffs.
Yeah. Also, I want to give a big shout out to Mr. Grant Enfinger for having a great run most of this race.
I mean,
with CR7 Motorsports.
Yeah, huge. That is the big thing. We all know Grant Enfinger's a dog. But this is a team that they built from scratch this year after... What was the name of their team last year? GMS shut down. GMS just randomly closes their doors, kind of surprise everybody. You no longer have jobs, and everybody had to go searching. And Grant Enfinger seemingly got the worst end of the deal and kind of just had to start his own team kind of deal. Mm. They're like, yeah, we'll buy the scraps of GMS and kind of do our own thing. And they've been slowly building momentum, and I think it showed at Richmond where he was very strong. So good for them.
Yeah,
we met him that one time, even though we didn't know who he was.
I mean, if you look at what they've done, the CR7 team in the 9, they had what, Colby Howard last year, Blaine Perkins the year before, high 20s, 30s, whatever, and now you got Grant who came in here and he's got what, 5 top 10s, if not more in that. So way out kicking his coverage, if you will. So big shouts to Mr. Grant Enfinger, who did take the second stage.
Yeah.
So shouts to him. Connor Zilich was also in that. In the 7 truck, was running pretty well. Mid-teens, give or take. Ends up in a late caution. Backs it into the fence there. Got into it with Brett Holmes.
15th, 16th all race.
Yeah.
His first ever NASCAR oval start. So, I mean, like we said, the ceiling for this kid is
not gonna lie.
Sky. But he's like SVG. He's starting out very green.
That not to call back to Norm's scheme of the week, but that thing was sick.
It was.
That's
just the
truck.
colors, that render. I tried posting it, but my cellular.
Yeah, the
device
silver hair
really
racing logo is sick.
Yeah,
just the colors, like the blue with the fade in it, kind of metallic, and the red with the metallic in it, looked so good in the render.
But yeah, big shouts to Mr. Ty Majeski for taking the checkered flag in the Clean Harbors 250. So. Trucks are off for a little while. They start their round of 10 2 weeks from now at Milwaukee Mile.
We bitched about this last year. I'm going to bitch about it again this year. This is so dumb. I hate how they're going to already have had a playoff race before the Cup and Xfinity even start the playoffs. And I hate it.
Their first race in the round of 10 is August 25th, and then their second race in the round of 10 is September 19th.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Like, what, 3 weeks in between?
Almost a month.
Jeez. You going to make it over there, Chief?
They need to fix that schedule.
What?
You know, allergies kicking up or something?
They've been bad all day.
You look miserable.
Yeah, that's what blew my nose. Eyes all glossy.
I thought you were crying about Corey still.
I have been crying about Corey for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just the most ridiculous shit ever. But let's take a look at the playoff standings, shall we? So your playoff drivers for the Truck Series will be Corey Heim, Christian Eckes, Ty Majeski, Nick Sanchez, Raja Caruth, Grant Enfinger, Tyler Ankrum, Taylor Gray, Ben Rhodes, and Daniel Dye.
Old nut puncher himself.
Yep.
He's never going to get away from that, by the way.
So Ben Rhodes is
I
pretty
won't
much
let
walked
him.
in to be the champion, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
Because he just like does nothing all year, barely gets into the playoffs, and just wins Phoenix.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I'll take it, boys.
Yeah.
And that does it pretty much for the recap of the.
Yeah, it
Harvard
wasn't
250.
like a super crazy race. There was a couple stupid wrecks, massive ARCA brake wreck with Thad Moffitt, and whoever was in the 22.
That was so I was up at the lake and I had the race on, but we were leaving, and that was right before we left, and I was sitting there like packing stuff up, and I watched it happen. I was like, dude, there was enough time for a halftime show before he hit them. Like,
yeah, and then Thad Moffitt proceeds to run 3/4 of a lap while just spraying everything down the track.
Yeah.
Huge shout out to, I think it was John Hall. Was that the 91 truck?
I wasn't paying that much
First
attention.
ever start, Virginia local, top 10 all day.
Really?
Yeah.
Kid
Oh,
killed
that's
it. I think
sick.
he came in like 8th or something at the
That's
end of that
sick.
race.
I didn't see that.
But yeah, super, super good thing for him. I saw a bunch of people posting about it. I'm assuming he's a local short track, late model
Probably.
modified guy. So super cool for him. I think his name was John Hall. I could be wrong.
Connor Hall.
Connor Hall, my bad.
Connor Hall. The
One of
91. Finished
38
10th.
Connors in the
There's
lower
a lot of
series
Connors.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, too many. All right. It's a Sunday.
It's a good thing this was a completely uneventful race. We can get out of here nice and early.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so before we get into the elephant in the room, let's just talk about the race itself. I think overall, pretty damn good race.
So I think Bianchi described it this way on the teardown. It was a typical Richmond race, but I was actually interested in it.
Yeah.
I wasn't the truck race. I fucking tuned out of that. I turned it on, watched like 2 laps, then started doing other stuff because it was on.
Yeah.
The cup race, I was actually invested in. Maybe not like the first stage. The first run, maybe not. Then there was the run later when they all put the reds on. I was like, it was kind of boring. But all those other runs where you had a couple guys on the option tire,
Yeah.
it was interesting to watch. It was like you're watching the pylon, you're watching the timing. Like it actually it gave you something to pay attention to
100%.
other than, I mean, we've watched it's been 4 or 5 years of Richmond races where it's like Denny or Truex or Bell get out front and just dominate the whole race and nothing happens.
Yeah.
You know?
Christopher Bell won the first stage for his 10th stage win of the year, which is awesome.
He is the first driver in the next gen era to have double-digit stage wins in a single season.
Yes.
I just saw that post.
Awesome. The second stage, starting the second stage is when we start to see what you're talking about with McDowell and Suarez being the first two to put on the option tires.
I mean,
watching Suarez just drive through the field was
McDowell.
awesome.
It was art.
McDowell got the lucky dog at the end of the first stage, so he had to start. The rule is you get the lucky dog, you have to start behind everybody. That includes the lap cars. He made it from dead last, so 36th, to 18th in 10 laps?
15th
15th?
in 12
Yeah,
laps.
because I think there was 22 cars in the lead lap at this point or something like that.
So he had to
it took
pass-
a while for him to start gaining positions.
But he had to pass all the lap cars, and then he cut into the cars on the lead lap. And then Suarez went from 20-something to the damn lead?
Yeah.
Like
in 12
oh
laps.
my God.
It was, and according to not Bob, not Psycho Bob, because his name's not Bob, his name's Levi. He was there, and he said seeing it in person, he said Suarez looked like a missile.
Well, he would just stick it in the third lane and just wrap the corner.
It was unbelievable.
Then he had a 3-second lead at one point?
Dude,
He was-
drove
he
away.
was- fluctuating it too. He got out front and it was just hold your pace.
Yeah, and then, because they were saying that when he got the lead, they said there's 2 options here. Either you slow down and save, keep Denny, because Denny was in second, keep Denny at arm's reach, basically, or just keep pumping laps out and get as far away as you can. I feel like he was doing both.
Yeah.
Because he got out to 3 seconds, then you're right, it would go down to 2, then it would go back up to 2.5.
I think he needed to, for it to be 100% successful, I think he needed to push because Bell did get by him on green
did.
flag stops.
Yep.
But in Suarez's defense, he passed him right back. So, Suarez, we say this every week. You take that 15th place car and put him in the top 5, they're going to do something.
Yeah, and it was crazy to see how him putting the option tires on, and same with McDowell, completely flipped their race. Because you take a 20th place car, now all of a sudden they drive through the field and they're in the lead. He was in the top 5, top 8 all race long. They don't do that. They're going to be sitting in 20th all race. You know what I mean? They're going to be back there with our race picks, farting around.
Yeah.
Well, I think what benefited them the most with this strategy as well is obviously they now used one of their 2 sets.
Yep.
They only have 2 sets of option tires. So the next run, when everyone puts on the reds, they have to put on a yellow to save a red set for
Which
later.
he got eaten alive.
There's now only 15 cars on the lead
Yes.
lap. So
He
guess
got-
what? You're net gaining no matter what at this point.
Yeah, that restart, he went from 1st to 16th in 3 laps.
But you're
Yeah,
now the last
dropped like a
you're now
rock.
the last car in the lead lap.
And then
so
when
you're pretty good.
everybody came in and pit, and he was back to the lead again.
Yeah, because they ran super long.
Yeah.
So I just honestly shout out. I don't know his crew chief off the top of my head, but Suarez's crew chief called the perfect race.
It was ballsy. It was a ballsy move to throw those on
it
right
worked.
then, and it worked
Yeah.
out really good.
Yeah, it made the race interesting to watch
Yeah,
for a race that's been typically a snoozer.
And
I
I
made the second stage.
And I'm happy that it worked because it didn't work at Wilkesboro. It was a failed experiment.
And I was worried about it too because of exactly what you're saying. I was like, it didn't go well at Wilkesboro, but Wilkesboro was freshly paved. Richmond's not. That might help, but it's also at night.
Yep.
I was worried about the temperature. Yeah, it worked.
It
worked.
What I was also worried about in the middle of that Suarez run through the field was, will these fall off? Because if he just drives by everybody and then they never fall off, that's a problem because he's going to be 14 seconds ahead by the end of this run. But you saw it. They started to fall off. It was even more apparent later in the race when Kyle Busch had the bad pit stop. And they came in and threw the reds on. They're like, we got nothing to lose. We got to get back on the lead lap. And him and Ty Gibbs were on the reds. They went up and drove around the leaders and took off.
Got their lap back. Yeah.
20 laps later, they got lapped again because they drove really hard and smoked the tires off them. I think it was in 20 laps. They were passing Kyle again and putting him a lap down
I don't
again.
think Suarez has ever fell off that much. Obviously,
He did a really good job
Kyle
saving.
Busch did not have a good car. Ty Gibbs, surprisingly, wasn't that quick all day. Suarez, I feel like his fell off to the point where they evened out. I never felt like, from what I saw, his fell off to the point where he was in trouble.
Yeah.
To the
He
yellow
managed
tires.
them well.
Yeah,
He did manage them
I
very
think he
well.
did better than the rest of the field. But I mean, they just called. Everyone that's a fan of a driver always says, "I wish that this guy's crew chief was more ballsy. I wish this guy's crew chief made riskier calls." Well, Suarez's crew chief did it this week, and it paid off.
Yep.
Because he should have had a top 5. I don't know exactly where he finished.
I don't remember.
But he drove right back into the top 5. He was running the fastest laps at the end of that race. 2 laps, he probably could have been top 4, top 3.
Yep.
So, I mean, Suarez's crew chief, I think, deserves a gold star for this race. The red tires seem like they did the job. I don't know what it's going to look like when 36 guys are on them at the exact same time.
Well, we saw it in the second stage the first run of the third stage, they all threw a set on.
Yeah, but we'll wrap
Yeah.
up stage 2 with Suarez did get the stage 2 victory.
Yes.
Much needed playoff point to pad to his win. Good for him. So actually, I guess we'll just run through the stage points getters. Well, you don't have to, whatever. Seabell got the first stage. Suarez got the second stage. And who we'll talk about later on, Austin Dillon had a car all day.
So you had walked away to blow your nose, but he was, I mean, the fact that they unloaded and were fastest in practice, like, where the hell did that come from?
That car was cheated the fuck up.
Like, where the fuck did that come from?
Got fresh crew chief.
Yeah.
Unloaded with some speed for the first time, huh?
Apparently,
Yeah.
Andy Petrie was just tying that team down.
Apparently. So yeah, we'll get into the final stage here. We didn't make it too far into the final stage when Martin Truex Jr. goes to the garage with a smoked motor.
Yeah, I'm blowing up.
This
And
is
Yeah, that thing had a hole in it.
for a notoriously reliable company. We now have Seabell blowing up at Gateway.
Yep.
We got
Ty Gibbs,
Gibbs blowing up
2 weeks in a row.
twice.
Pocono and
Sonoma.
No, that was Denny. Did Gibbs blow up at Loudon?
I
Was
thought
it 2 in a
Gibbs
row?
blew up
Or
at
no?
Sonoma.
Gibbs
Oh,
blew up
Gibbs
at
had the
Indian
wheel.
Pocono.
Indian Pocono. You're right. It was
I
Pocono.
was trying to list them, and then you cut me off.
That's what we do.
Yes, I know.
Hamlin at Sonoma.
Yep.
So, I mean, you're talking in the last month and a half, 5, 6 motors, where we've talked about it in the past, where the NASCAR we grew up with, you had 3 guys blowing up every week.
Yeah.
Now, in the last 10, 15 years, the motors aren't as high strung. They're not really ringing them. They're not wringing their necks like they used to in the old days.
Plus, the technology is so much more.
Plus the technology. These motors are very reliable.
They're running full races on the dyno with these motors.
Yeah, and I feel like something's going on because I also feel like it's been a lot of the same problem. I remember they said that Gibbs's motors were valve train, dropped a spring, broke a rocker arm, something like that. That's what Truex speculated last night.
I don't know if his did, though, because his didn't puke the guts, but his definitely put a hole in the block.
True.
Because when
Yeah.
he came in, it was smoking out the right side,
Yeah.
and they popped the hood and it was just billowing smoke. That tells me he threw a rod.
Maybe.
But, I mean, it could have been an issue built up to that,
it
but
is
he
just-
didn't throw the milkshake out.
It is just crazy that, like, this is something we've talked about on the show about how Remember back in the day when it was like you never knew all of a sudden the guy leading could grenade a motor? It's happening. It's just with Gibbs.
I mean, the last time we saw it was, 21, when Kyle Busch just blew up every week for no reason?
Well, that was in the playoffs when he got the lead and then blew up, and then I think he blew up the next week after that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. It's very concerning. And this is the worst time of year for this to happen.
We haven't seen...
Also, we got Dad in the chat asking about decals to put on his Porsche for our drive to Charlotte. We'll get to that in the questions.
Probably a giant dick.
He wants thinking about putting Lucis Fast on the back window. Is that what you were texting me about when I texted you unsubscribe? He's blowing up my phone. I just texted back unsubscribe. And then he goes in here. Okay, we'll get to that in the questions.
But it's crazy. We've never seen a reliability issue like this we haven't seen it in a long time with one team. And if I'm on Gibbs, if I'm one of those 4 drivers, I'm like kind of looking over my shoulder. Like,
and I'm also worried about my pick for Michigan being Bubba. Like, is that going to be a long run car?
Yeah.
Or is that thing going to puke its guts out too?
Also, Carter Robley, this is a great opportunity. Sell them your rocker arm. Like you said, $5,000. I think you get some more. They need it.
Clearly, they need some
all the
better
engine
rocker
help
arms.
they can get.
all the valve train help they can get.
Yeah, so we'll see. But yeah, let's get to the end of the race now. All things aside of how this race ended, Austin Dillon ran up to the front, took the lead away from Denny Hamlin, and he earned it.
And I thought it was
he
great.
was fast. He went up and drove there.
He actually passed them, like, which we've talked about in the short track package so many times that you can't pass. He drove up to, he was running like 3rd or 4th. I think he passed.
It was Logano. He was having a hard time with
passed
Logano.
Bubba. I forget who else he passed in 4th. Maybe it was Reddick, I think, something like that. Drove up to Logano, had some issues with Logano. That was a hell of a battle. But
He's notoriously a hard guy to pass.
Ended up getting around him. And then the battle him and Denny had with, 20 or 30 to go was awesome. Like, they battled back and forth. He gets around him, and he drove away. He was 3 seconds ahead. And then for some odd reason, in the year of our Lord 2024, we get to 2 laps to go, and someone decides to fuck around and find out. It just wasn't Kyle Busch this time.
It was Ricky.
It was Ricky
Stenhouse
Stenhouse.
Jr. and Mr. Ryan Preece.
For all of RCR, no one is going to talk about how good that car was.
Nope. That is not going to be remembered at all.
That car unloaded fast. It practiced fast. It qualified well. He ran up and took the lead.
He was in the top 5 all
Just
night.
Like Norm said, that is going to be completely forgotten because of what he did at the end of this race.
100%.
The resurgence of RCR is now going to be shadowed by the Austin Dillon wrecking.
It's not even going to be shadowed. It's going to be completely forgotten. No one's going to ever talk about the fact that if we don't get the caution with 2 to go, that Austin Dillon was going to win by damn near 4 seconds.
32nd place in points car came out here and whooped everybody's ass.
And won by damn near 4 seconds. It's not that would have been the narrative had the caution never happened and then had what happened not happened.
If that caution didn't happen, this is a Rudy-like story.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
It's the underdog who sucks butts, and for some reason at the end, quote my boy Norm.
Always got to work a sucks butts in there.
It's my new favorite word, and I quote you every time I use it.
He hasn't been setting the world on fire, but he's
There it is. There it is. We haven't heard that in a while.
No, we haven't.
It would have been an unbelievable storyline. And I don't like Austin Dillon. I don't like RCR. But I would have been here for a good story like that.
I was honestly rooting for him.
I was happy for him because I just didn't want to see Hamlin win at Richmond again. I didn't want to see Logano win. I like, whether I like him or not, if John Hunter Nemechek goes and wins a goddamn race, I'm going to be like, hell yeah. Like, I like what you're saying. I like when the guy that doesn't win or isn't supposed to win
doesn't deserve to win.
The guy goes up there and he hasn't led a single lap all season.
Right, the Daytona stories.
Well, but even I like it when it's not those though.
Right.
I want to see
exactly.
I want to see Eric Jones at Darlington. I want to see Suarez at Sonoma. You know, like the guys
100%.
The guys that can win, that maybe have won in the past, haven't won in a long time, or the team that's been stepping on their own foot all season and then they come out and have the magical race where they win. Like
Dillon hasn't led a lap since Talladega in the fall of last year.
Yes.
So one that counts. Further back.
So I was rooting for him when he blew by everybody. I was like, this is awesome.
He led 35 laps.
I agree with you. Can't stand RCR, especially not after last night. not a big Dylan fan.
I've never been a fan of either of the brothers, to be honest.
I don't hate them. I don't have like a hate for them.
Maybe not. Maybe now.
I just don't like them. Like he's just he just looks like a douche.
I mean,
stupid.
I'm kind of glad that I don't like them because they're the reason that Kevin Harvick left.
Yes.
And had a much better career after the fact.
Right. They're the blueprint of spoiled rich kids that we all hate. Yeah. I mean, we tolerate Kyle. He's an all right guy.
We tolerate him, yeah.
But the spoiled...
What the fuck did I do?
Fucking ricochet shot.
Sorry. But it's we talk about
you, especially you.
Ty
Fuck
Gibbs.
You.
That's why our hats...
Fuck did I do to you?
Our hats are off to Ty Gibbs so much this year because he's matured so much and he's no longer just driving around and Cochise ride, just winning everything because he has the most money. Like it's like he's eaten that humble pie and he's matured a shit ton since then.
He gets us.
The Dillon brothers don't. I mean, Ty Dillon, he gets kicked in the balls and goes down to the truck series, and he still causes a wreck a week.
No, that was still, I've referenced it here probably 100 times. It was a couple years ago when he was in the trucks or Xfinity, and he was crying about how he should be in the Cup Series, and then it was at Daytona, the first race of the year, he goes out and causes a 30-car pileup.
The race before that at the Clash, when he just goes in, no lifts into every corner and wrecks everybody.
Yep.
It's these two kids for their entire careers have just driven with freaking blindfolds on. And Austin Dillon, it was like, dude, he's finally going to get a win that he deserves. Because every single win he has, especially in the Cup Series, has an asterisk.
When I saw the list of his wins and how many asterisks they have. You've got Daytona, he wrecked the 10. There was a fuel mileage rate. The Coke 600 was fuel mileage. What else was there? Was there a rain out? Then there was Daytona a couple years ago when the whole field wrecked.
Yeah, he played like a crazy strategy and
had Reddick blocking for him the whole time.
Texas or something. It was every win he hasn't been because of speed.
It's never been I drove to the front and won.
Fuel mileage races are one thing, that's a team effort. But it's not like driver didn't make a difference. You could put freaking Pogo the monkey in that car and he could win that race if you're going to do a fuel mileage race.
Yeah.
But this was like, oh, hell yeah. They're putting together a fantastic weekend. He maturely and cleanly drove to the front. He's racing Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano, two of the biggest hotheads in the sport, and he passes them clean and takes the lead.
And gets around Joey Logano, who is notoriously difficult to pass.
Yeah. Yes.
He did incredibly well.
No,
not at all. And I will sing his praises
until
for the next 18 laps. And then everything after that, go straight to hell.
So what do we think happened on that last caution? Did Stenhouse just overcook the shit out of it?
Tinfoil hat time.
Ooh.
Is
I like
Stenhouse
tinfoil hats.
Still mad at RCR for the All-Star race.
Ooh.
That was a theory that was like, fuck RCR and everybody involved after the Kyle Busch incident. I'm not letting this kid win. Or was it Stenhouse? I don't even know where he's at in points.
Not good.
But Austin Dillon winning definitely doesn't help his point situation at all. So does Stenhouse bring out a yellow and cushion his chance to get into the playoffs?
Dude, he drove it in so deep he had to lock up the front wheels.
He wasn't racing for position with the 41. They were on two different laps.
I didn't even know that.
He wasn't racing to keep his lap because I think he was already at least one down. So he had no reason at that point in time to overdrive the corner with 2 laps to go.
Carter Opley, I don't like your tinfoil hats. I like Norm's tinfoil hats. They're a little more realistic.
That's fair. So either way, caution comes out for Ryan Preece and Ricky Stenhouse Jr., forcing an overtime green-white checker.
Everybody comes in.
And poor Ryan Preece, 2 races in a row.
He just gets mowed down.
Inadvertently is the cause of the late race caution that causes a bunch of shit.
So everybody that has – now everybody – not everybody, but –
is anyone even watching the stream?
Yeah, there's 9 people in there.
Okay.
Everybody – I lost my train of thought. Okay. So there was 15 cars in the lead lap, something like that?
Yeah.
I think Kyle Busch was a lucky dog in 16th or 15th. Yeah.
Pretty much everybody in that 16 except for Suarez still had a set of reds laying. Everybody was hanging on to him.
Which is, like I said, super unfortunate for Suarez because they were on the reds and he had made his way into the top 5.
Yep.
Could have gone a little further in those 2 laps.
Yep.
Now with the green-white checker, fuck.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be on the good tires.
Everyone was the broadcast was like, oh, is Suarez gonna get there?
His team?
He was
saying
reeling him in, but he wasn't gonna make
his
it.
team was saying that if the
13
math was
seconds
that made me laugh. That his team was like, if we keep going at this pace, you'll pass the leader and you'll have a 6-second lead. And I'm watching the times and I'm like,
No.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
I think it's because when they said that, he had a straightaway before the next car.
He had
The
clear air.
second he caught any traffic, it was over.
slowed him down.
And now you're going to start passing people for position
Yeah.
in the top 5.
So
No, you're not gaining those.
everybody comes down and puts reds on the last remaining set of reds for the green-white checker. Kudos to Dylan's pit crew. I mean, stop of their life right there. You're going up against the 22 and the 11. I do think it helped that he had such a lead because he came
Right.
in.
There were so much.
He came
between
in
them 'cause they were
3 or
lap
4
cars.
car lengths in front of everybody. Which, did you see Hamlin and Logano coming in? Like, one of them, Hamlin locked his brakes up coming in. I was like, oh, shit.
Right. Because the second they pull down, they're trying to accelerate
Yeah.
to get to that line.
So Dylan holds serve. He ends up in first. Logano actually beats Hamlin off pit road.
And shouts to Dylan's crew because they did a damn good job all day.
Yeah.
Yes, they really did.
They
yeah.
put on a show all day,
Yeah.
all mid-9s or
Well,
less.
And that's one of the things you worry about when a team like that is having such a good day is when's the pit crew gonna? They're not a top
didn't.
tier pit crew. Look, it happened to Bubba. He was in the top 5, and after the first stage, he came out like 17th.
Yep.
You know, we see it all the time where someone's having a good day and then they have a blunder on pit
Blaney.
road. Blaney,
Poor Skip, had trouble at the right front at one point.
Bell. I mean, that was his fault, not the pit crew, but you know what I mean. So they end up coming out. It was Dylan, Logano, Hamlin was your top 3. Now I'm sitting there going, Hamlin's in the catbird seat because I'm thinking they're going to go into 1. Dylan's going to run the 22 up the track, and Denny's just going to go whoop right by him. That's what I thought was going to happen.
I'm surprised that he picked the inside.
I'm not, because that gives you the option to do that, to run him up the track and then drive away.
Yeah, he's playing safety.
Yeah. I think if you go on the outside, then you have the opportunity to be run up. We've talked about this before. at
Outside is
Richmond.
faster, but you're on defense.
You're
of
on
thing.
defense. At least on the inside, it might be the slower line, but you're on offense. You can slide up into him a little bit and then take off.
he lost that the second they accelerated.
Well, I heard a thing today that he is the worst ranked restarter this year. I think they said on Denny's podcast he's lost like 84 positions.
Negative 80 something. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Joey's one of the
One
best.
of the best.
Yeah.
And he showed it yesterday. I mean, Logano rocketed away. He was clear of him by the time they got off of 2. Logano was already clear.
It's clear.
And then, I mean, you're watching.
Drove away.
He was driving away, and you're watching it, and the broadcast is doing what the broadcast does. Rick Allen overhypes everything.
Oh, he's got to run off the corner.
He's got to run if he can get to him. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, there are 4 cars between them.
Yeah,
Like, what
Joey's
are you
pulling away. What run
talking
does he
about?
have?
Yeah. And then we get to turn 3 on the last lap, and
Norm,
yeah,
paint the picture for the final lap.
So Joey has now pulled away. We're on the white flag lap. Caution ends the race. Joey is now 3 to 4 car lengths
He was a
ahead of
solid
Austin
3.5,
Dillon going
4.
into 3. Joey doesn't play defense at all because Joey's like, there's no chance in hell this kid can get anywhere near me. I am set sailing. As long as I don't Clint Boyer off the apron out of turn 4, I'm winning this race.
he said it in his post race. He said he went into 3. He didn't back the corner up at all. And in his mind, all he said was, I have to wrap the bottom, and that's it.
Yeah. And so Austin Dillon goes in, essence of me at Langley Speedway on iRacing.
I was there. It happened.
Austin Dillon goes into turn 3 and upshifts. He damn near Hail Melons, but on the inside.
Yeah.
He said he put it in 5th gear and matted it.
Oh, he did? I didn't even hear that.
Yeah.
He said that. Yeah.
It's,
Oh, I missed that.
sir, entering a corner, you usually downshift and slow down.
Yep.
He gained 4 car lengths on the entrance of the corner. If Logano had a foot more advantage on him, Austin Dillon's in the outside wall.
Yep.
Because he was already drifting up the track by the
When he
time
hit
he
him.
caught him. And he ends up clipping the back bumper of Logano, completely jacking him up, immediately spins him out.
Mm-hmm.
In these cars, we saw...
I wouldn't call it a clip, more of a pile drive.
He
but-
punted
Right,
his
but
ass.
he caught him right on the outside of the right rear.
Yeah.
Because he was already losing the bottom because he had an extra
Way
20
too
miles
much
an hour.
momentum.
He was going 15
He was
miles an hour
drifting
too
up the
fast.
track, so he perfectly caught him in the right rear, which is the most unstable part of the car.
Yep.
I mean, we saw all day on boards of people punting each other into the corner.
John in the chat, I wasn't mad at Norm, just really disappointed. That would be the victim.
Gibby was mad, and I was like,
No, John wasn't the victim. John was the person that had to dole out the punishment.
Oh,
It was an LCQ race and a late model race, and I just said, fuck it. I
yeah.
won.
That was almost more egregious than Austin Dillon.
Oh, it was way more. I drove in the grass to do that. But either way, Austin Dillon clobbers him. I mean, sends him to the freaking moon. And Denny Hamlin is now in the catbird seat. He's in third place. He was a couple car lengths behind Austin Dillon.
Yep.
He just cuts the corner, cuts the bottom, rides off. SMT will show that he was lower on exit than he normally would have been. And Austin Dillon, Hail Melons it one more time, drops a gear and turns hard left.
Full throttle.
Hooks Denny in the right rear. Denny somehow doesn't go firewall deep. Somehow tank slaps the outside wall and keeps the forward momentum going.
I've watched that replay a few times. I still don't know how he didn't go head first into the wall.
Yeah.
And don't either.
Austin Dillon comes across the line first, followed by the 2311 brothers and Denny Hamlin in fourth. Now, at some point, a yellow flag came out.
Yeah, I thought scoring
which they
loops,
said happened as soon as the 22 spun out, but it didn't come out until 10 feet before the start-finish line.
I'm just confused because I thought I read somewhere last night someone was saying that they thought scoring loops were shut off on the, like it was, at last lap, it's get across the line.
Yeah.
'Cause how many
No,
times?
when the caution comes out, it's frozen.
Yeah.
I get that, but I don't even know why they threw the caution. Like they were coming in.
Because Logano was backwards.
I get it. It was weird that they, like he said, it was like they said the caution came out as soon as Logano spun, but you didn't see it.
They didn't hit the button fast enough. He took out two people in the time it took him to hit the button.
Yeah.
So Austin Dillon does take the checkered flag after taking out two of his opponents, if you will. What do you think?
I have to
What do I
backtrack. I have to backtrack my statements because this was before the SMT came out. I'm willing to say I was most likely wrong. I was talking to Kyle before. I think the Logano thing, there's no getting around that when he did what he did. It was ridiculous. I'm not like up in arms about it like some people. I think Jeff Gluck was like, it was disgusting. It was disgraceful. I mean, okay, whatever. Like he was having a full meltdown.
Yeah, it's not the first time this has happened.
I mean, I'm
It
sorry.
won't be the last time either.
Brought it up the other night. It wasn't as egregious, but Logano's done it before. He drove into the back of William Byron and shoved him up into the fence at Darlington and drove on for a win.
But what Logano did was he said the exact right words to separate those two instances where William Byron at Darlington backed up the corner in anticipation of Logano hitting him.
I know.
So he overslowed, preparing for that hit to now not be way too fast. Logano specifically said, I did not back up the corner, meaning that like I didn't change anything I did before the incident.
I'm just saying that Logano has done this before.
Yeah, I mean, Martinsville, Martin Truex
And
Jr.
I'm sorry if you put anybody in the situation that Dylan was in, you're probably going to see a dive bomb like that. So I don't have a huge problem with that one. Is it clean? Is it ethical? No. But he's 32nd in points. A win gets you in. That's the system we live with now. So I think that is what it is.
The win by any means necessary.
Exactly. So
especially this time of year.
I had originally said last night, I think I had said that the Denny one looked, that when he turns into Denny, it looks really bad. But I wanted to see SMT. I wanted to get all the facts because I saw a couple different scenarios there. I was telling Kyle this. Scenario one is he right hooked him. He took him out on purpose to win the race. Scenario two I've seen going around is that when he drives it 30 miles an hour too fast into the corner, he then rides up and now has to almost do like a diamond. So he just cuts it left and gets on the gas to try to get the straightest exit he can. And Denny is running the line that he should be. He's a little lower, but you're still going to follow that arc, and it just the two of them collected. The other theory I had, and I said this today, was, you got the spotter audio. Go low, go low, go low, minus the wreck him part, because I think he said wreck him after he had already wrecked him. But he's, block, get down, get down, get down. So was Dylan just going down, not realizing that Denny was already damn near past him? Was he thinking that he was just going to door him and they were going to Darlington it across the line, or he was going to push him into the grass or hit him and get him sideways and break his momentum? Maybe. If that doesn't happen in the blink of an eye, does Dylan realize that he's already here, and if he goes down, he's going to right hook him, and he doesn't do that? Maybe. I think it's one of those three scenarios. Which one it is, we'll never know. The SMT definitely shows that he turns left and mats the gas, so that kind of supports all three options.
Right.
That supports all three scenarios.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in one of his interviews, he's like, "Oh, it was just reaction." So You reacted to seeing Denny and you hit him.
It was either reacting to seeing or reacting to his spotter freaking out, which he said he did.
Well, I mean, when he connected with Denny, he connected right rear. So he definitely saw Denny. He saw Denny's hood or saw Denny, and the reaction was to hit him.
Yeah.
I don't think he had the reaction time to react to the spotter audio.
I don't think so.
So his spotter saying, wreck him, or whatever, however many times he said it, everyone's like, oh, his spotter told him to wreck him. That's damning. I don't think he did. I don't think he had the reaction time to react to it, but the fact that it is on the audio and he did it, it is damning.
I think it would be more damning if, let's say, they're taking the white flag and he's got to run on Denny and his spotter's going, wreck him the whole way down the front stretch going into one.
Right.
Because then he's got time to think about it. I'm with you. I think it happens so fast. That
the fact that he got I don't care how you do it and a wreck him.
Yeah. It looks bad.
And he took out 2 people.
Yeah.
I think he's screwed. Do I think NASCAR can do a lot about this? That's the question.
It's kind of too late.
I'm with Norm.
Exactly.
Norm and Denny had very similar opinions, and I'm with you on this. The only thing they can do that's going to matter is to take him out of the playoffs or put him to the back of the field and get rid of his win.
Right, which is completely unprecedented.
Which is not, yeah, exactly. It's Denny, when Denny got DQ'd at Pocono, that was the first time in 60 whatever years that someone was DQ'd and lost the win. And that was within 2 hours of the end of the race.
Right, that was for blatant cheating. That wasn't for race manipulation, rough driving.
What I'm saying is they didn't do it at the track. I don't see them coming out 2 days later and being like.
What I said to Dan previous to us recording, the only way that NASCAR can clean this up without making a mockery of themselves, their kind of loophole would be to suspend him for the right rear, which they did to
give a playoff waiver
and not give him a waiver.
Which, unfortunately, they'd still look stupid because they've given playoff waivers for every other right hook. So there's no way
but they can play the dangerous race manipulation, putting someone at risk. They can play all those cards at the same time and say the bump and run is fair game, right? We all say bump and run. You give the guy a tap, run him up the track, you take the spot. That was a dump and run.
They said
you dumped him.
They can go, it was egregious, but fair game.
You run into the back of him. You're trying to win the race. The hit on Joey, bullshit. Yeah. Is it good racing? Absolutely not. Is that how I want to see people race? Absolutely not. But I get it. It's happened 1,000 times. It's going to happen 1,000 more times. It's the second one and the Wreckham on the radio that is the damning.
And the SMT data.
You dump and run. It's a cheap shot, but you got it.
Yep.
Good for you. And then taking a hard left and right hooking someone into the fence who sounded like he was damn near crying on his radio because he was hurt.
Yeah.
Well, you got to think Denny is still recovering from surgery.
Shoulder, yeah. He said
So
it hurt his shoulder. Yeah. So if NASCAR wants to do something about it, they can. Do I think they will do something that matters? Probably not.
No.
And I thought Denny had a great point. You know, this moves him from 32nd to 16th. One of the co-hosts on Denny's show had asked, you know, what does that do? How much money are we talking? And Denny said probably around $2 million.
Yeah.
So what if, let's say they come out and unprecedented fine Austin Dillon $1 million? He's still net gain there.
Right. And it's not even that. It's the publicity of
He's in the
you
playoffs.
are now in the playoffs. You are in every photo shoot. You are on every, no matter what, whether you're running 28th or first, you're getting talked about.
He's going to the playoff media day. His
Right.
sponsors are getting talked about.
3-week TV coverage of you already.
Johnny Morris will pay that fine.
Exactly.
So I'm going to break down the two incidents separately. The Logano thing. Is this any different than Denny Hamlin last year or the year before, whatever it was, getting fined for hitting Ross Chastain at Phoenix? And the penalty was not attempting to make the corner.
Yeah, that's a good point.
When Denny Hamlin got fined $50,000, he admitted, I let go of the wheel and hit Ross. And NASCAR hit him with an actions detrimental penalty of not attempting to safely make the corner.
That's right. That's a good point.
Austin Dillon going in 40 miles an hour over the speed limit and going straight instead of left. Well, over not speed limit.
Over normal.
Over
normal
race
They
speed.
should put speed limit signs.
Yeah, Adam. Over race speed And clearly he was going straight instead of turning.
He wasn't making that corner.
He was not arcing the turn. He was going straight, and that's why he clipped Joey Logano on the right rear. That is not attempting to make a corner. Joey Logano hitting the 24 at Darlington, he was attempting to make the corner.
I agree.
He was within half a car length, and he pushed the guy out of the way. Did he hit him harder than I think he should have? Yes. And I think we all argued that when we talked about it on the podcast. But Austin Dillon never went into turn 3 with the intention of exiting turn 4 if there wasn't contact.
Yep.
Yes.
If he didn't hit the 22 car and stop his car,
He was going firewall deep.
he was going to the wall.
Yep.
He was going to freaking Ross Chastain it off turn 4 because he was going way too fast. He did not attempt to make that corner. And now the contact off turn 4. Precedent has been set. You right hook somebody into the wall, you get suspended. I don't even remember what the monetary or the points fines were.
I don't think
They
there
hurt.
was. I thought
I
they
want
were just
65 something.
I
rings
thought
a bell.
I thought Bubba was just suspended. Bubba and Chase were just suspended. I don't remember there being monetary and points. I thought it was suspended, and they obviously thought that the points.
That'll have to be looked up. But whether it was an intentional right rear, I don't think he intentionally right hooked him, but he went and intentionally hit him, and in the words of his crew, to wreck him, and he right reared somebody into the wall. That should be mandatory 1 week suspension.
Yeah.
Now, I think the biggest issue with this whole thing is NASCAR should have acted immediately.
Yes.
NASCAR should have been like, holy shit, we can't let this guy win. Look at what he just did. He just did 2 blatant infractions, 2 blatant intentional wrecks on the last lap. Take his win away immediately. Don't let him do a burnout. Don't let him go past go. Don't let him collect his freaking paycheck.
Elliott was not fined or anything. He was just suspended.
Oh, you beat me to it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I found
So-
the NASCAR article. With
So
the penalty
that should
report.
be mandatory suspension. The Logano incident should be mandatory $50,000. And then on top of that, he goes off and wins in the next 100 feet, and NASCAR didn't immediately take the win away. I think that's too big of a hole to dig out of for NASCAR. So I think best case scenario, they go up to Austin Dillon this week. Hey, keep the trophy. Keep your sticker above the window. We're taking all your points away, and you are no longer playoff eligible.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Just
or,
like Denny after Pocono. We're not going to fight you for the fucking trophy. That's up to
Yeah.
you and Chase. But you do not get credited with this win.
I honestly, when Kyle said it earlier to me, it made the most sense. Suspend him next week.
Don't give him a waiver.
Don't give him a waiver. So he is not playoff eligible.
Yep.
Keep your win. Keep the winnings. Keep your points. Keep your celebration. Keep all that shit. But you're not in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think that is the way that NASCAR comes out of this the cleanest. Do I think they will?
No.
No. I don't think they will.
I think they could go even as far as, we're going to suspend you, but you can race, and we're just taking your playoff eligibility. If they just flat out take his playoff eligibility away,
Yep.
keep your money, keep your win,
Yep.
keep the points, you lose the playoff eligibility. That's all you lose. That's a big penalty.
Unfortunately, that's what they have to do, because this has been the talking point of everything I've listened to today, the 2 shows I listened to, that if they let this go, if they give him a $50,000 fine, there is no deterrent from somebody doing this every goddamn week.
They have to do something big enough to matter.
Yes.
They have to set a precedent that we will not tolerate this type of racing. We're not the WWE.
Wrestling.
It's ridiculous. Like
This
that was egregious beyond your, boys have at it kind of thing.
Right.
NASCAR
Individually. Each of those incidents.
The fact that there was 2 of them.
Yeah.
If it was just the Joey dump and run, not surprised.
Yep.
We still wouldn't be talking about it a half hour later. It would be, it's bullshit, but he kind of earned it. He ran the last 35 laps better than anybody. He was there to win. Late caution, dumps Joey out of the way to take the win that he probably should have already had.
Yep.
That's fine. But the fact that you take out both of them,
NASCAR needs to take the stance that we've talked about 100 times on here with when the new car came out with the L1, L2, L3 penalties.
yeah,
How those penalties were so harsh that you didn't dare touch anything.
yeah,
So they need to set a precedent here of, if you want to wreck 2 fucking people, Never mind right hooking one of them.
It has to hurt.
It has to scare the field.
Yeah, he looks like a monkey fucking a football out there.
Yeah. Good reference.
Nice.
Everybody out.
Looks like a bunch of bums out there.
Except you two. It has to scare the field.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Excuse you. Any penalty that they do, if it's monetary, even if it's points, doesn't matter. He's still in the fucking playoffs.
Yeah. It has to be massive dollar-wise or something.
I don't even think dollars matter. I don't think dollars hurt him at all. I don't think points hurt him at all.
Yeah,
It
right.
needs to be either a suspension. I mean, we're talking full nuclear, take the win away.
They're not going to take the win away.
I don't think they take the win away.
I don't think they will, no.
Playoff eligibility, like you just said, or our other theory of suspend him and don't give him a waiver. You know what I mean? Like,
I hope they suspend him and then refuse the waiver just to drag this out and watch RCR squirm.
Yeah, that's
and
the
throw
other.
a fit. But I also, on the other hand, want this to be a quick guillotine of chopping the head off just to get it over with, because I don't want to do the Larson thing that we did for 3 weeks talking about, is he going to get a waiver?
No one wants to talk about Austin Dillon.
Exactly. I want this to be over. When you're listening to this, I hope it's already over.
Same.
And I hope you have to listen to us be wrong. So I just want it to be over.
Yeah.
And I want it to be of value, of substance, not 50K, 20 points. Oh, that's going to help.
Yeah, because then
you know who's going to go Leroy Jenkins in there next weekend? Anybody.
John Hunter Nemechek. Yeah. It will be a mess if they let this stand.
It is a Pandora's box they do not want to open. They have to make it matter now.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
next
then,
weekend at Michigan, we'll get Carson Hocevar staying out late in the race. And on a green-white checker, everyone else pits. He stays out, and he just wrecks everybody that gets near him.
Yeah.
But you're going to see Carson Hocevar looking like the Mustang from Too Fast, Too Furious between the two semis.
I'm fine with that because I picked him. If he wins, that's great. But they need to just, and I hate it because this is, again, open up another little subject. This is the product of what we have with this win and you're in, which sometimes I love it because it creates
you
talking
can't
points,
blame that, though.
But I will.
I hate that crutch.
But I will.
I don't blame and that was the key talking point on Denny's thing, is the format. Did the format cause this? No. The format did not cause this. The format is the reason why this affects the other 35 cars.
Yeah.
Austin Dillon hasn't won in a year and a half, almost 2 years, probably 2.5 years, actually. I think it was 68 races, so that's over 2 years.
Quick math.
Hasn't won in 2 years. He was going to do that whether it got him in the playoffs or not, because he wanted that win.
Correct.
The problem is he did that, and he's 32nd in points, and now that fucks at least one person out of the playoffs.
Yeah, well, there was Chastain. It was Chastain, Buescher, and Bubba were all fighting right around that cut line. Now it's like, now what?
Bubba's in, Russ and Buescher are out.
By 4 points.
Yeah. I don't know. We've seen it before with.
Yeah. Can we bring back the higher than 30 rule? Because
they need to whittle that down even more. I was talking to Sanchez about this on Discord. I'm like, I almost wish it was top 20.
Yep.
Because then at least you're getting the people that deserve to be there, but maybe had 1 or 2 bad weeks. Top 25, that's a bigger window. I think that is fair.
25 is fair.
Yeah.
But 30, even 30, because who's in 29th? Corey LaJoy?
30th right now.
Yeah, 29th, 30th in points. Corey LaJoy, Justin Haley, I think you said was 4 points ahead of him.
Yeah.
If one of those guys wins, even then it's like, does this guy fucking deserve to be in the playoffs? Yeah. 25th, we're talking about Hocevar, Noah Gragson. These guys, you're like, yeah, okay, I could see them actually doing something in the playoffs. Austin Dillon entering at a 450-point disadvantage to Kyle Larson.
That's insane.
Regular season, if they just stacked points and he won every race of the playoffs, he would not beat Kyle Larson.
Yes.
Correct.
So it's like, is that the guy you want NASCAR in your playoffs, or do you want Bubba Wallace and Ross Chastain battling it out until the last race?
Yeah, but that's the problem with I wanted to say this. We've seen this before because I'll bring this up at any time. This was to move on in the playoffs, but the Harvick at Talladega, that still burns me. That still pisses me off. We've seen it how many times with guys doing moves that are just ridiculous to move on in the playoffs.
No matter what the system is, there's going to be ways to game the system.
Yeah.
This is a sport that is built on cheating and finding the gray area, no matter what format it is, no matter how they change the format, no matter what requirements there are, there's going to be people that will try to game it.
Yeah.
So blaming the format for Austin Dillon being a jackass on the last lap, it's not a crutch that matters, because no matter what the format is, was points, this, that, and the other thing, people are going to do dumb shit no matter what the format is. So, yeah, the win and you're in thing does make for more desperate moves, but we've seen desperate moves when it was just points all season too.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I had to change my stance after the SMT data came out. But like I said, I think it's one of those.
Yeah, and also shout out Bozy.
Oh, unbelievable.
For posting that on Twitter. I mean, he broke down everything: steering angle, throttle.
He broke down both
speed.
incidents.
He nailed it on Discord or Twitter, and it's a fantastic read. If you're not following Bozy, follow Bozy, Bozi.
Yeah,
he's probably the only one that'll come up. He's fantastic, and he's super unbiased whenever he posts stuff.
He is.
It's pretty cut and dry what we saw here. It just sucks. I mean, and you're going to go in there, and like I said before, it's Austin Dillon. You just had the race of your career, literally.
Yep.
You had a bad restart. Dude, sucks, but everyone's going to be talking about how you deserve to win this race.
Yep.
And now you go out, and you absolutely dump 2 future Hall of Famers.
Make an ass of yourself.
And skirt your way into victory lane. Well, guess what? That just erased all the progress you made.
If he finished second in that race, everyone, you're right, the talking point will be, wow, Austin Dillon deserved to win that race. What a race. He had such a good run. That sucks. We feel for him.
The good karma he would have got from
Yeah.
not driving like a jackass would have gone a lot further than being eliminated in the round of 16.
Yeah.
Because his streak of mediocrity will continue, and he will be eliminated right away. And if he's not, people will make sure he is.
Oh, yeah.
Because you just pissed off. I mean, Tyler Reddick hit him.
Tyler Reddick was pissed.
Reddick hit him going into one after the start finish line. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Reddick gave him a
punted
shot.
him as soon as they
Oh,
crossed
I
the
missed
finish
that.
line.
And in Reddick's post race, he was just as pissed as Logano was.
They crossed the checkered, and going into one, Reddick, boom.
I missed that.
Reddick was pissed on the post race. Joey obviously pissed. Bubba wasn't thrilled. Called the chicken shit. Like he lost half the garage.
I have never heard more chicken shits post race than that.
It's amazing.
It was awesome.
Dude,
So,
Joey's
also-
interview, I mean, 100 out of 10.
Oh yeah,
That
he was.
freaking interview quality.
Did you
was
hear
fantastic.
Did you see the front stretch interview? Or the it was front stretch and a bunch of other reporters, not
Yeah,
the
yeah.
TV one. I showed
Oh,
him.
the-
He
afterwards?
sucks. He sucked his whole
He sucked his whole
career.
career. He sucks. I was like, attaboy, Joey. And then I
And
gotta
then
give shout
in
outs to
the ad-
Denny.
Yeah, we were talking about this pre you showing up, Norm. Denny's interview was the greatest interview I've ever heard in my life.
It was so
This is like he's talking about setting, the precedent for, future racing, the younger kids that are looking up to us. What example are we setting? Like, unbelievably well spoken for a guy who just got put in the fence at 100 miles an hour on a bad shoulder.
Yeah.
Unbelievable by Denny.
Also, I don't know if you saw, Reddick continued the tour on Sirius today. He was roasting him on Sirius.
Oh, I didn't hear it,
It
no.
was something about like,
Yeah, Reddick said, I was teammates with him for a long time. I know what he did and why he did it, or
and he said
the
something
intention
about,
behind what he did. Like, I know him as a person.
and he was like, my kid now thinks this is normal. Like, he thinks that that's how I should race. Like, I don't want my kid thinking that. Like,
Yeah, Dad, why do you always finish second? Why don't you just wreck the guy in front of you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then we get into the post race. 2 things. Joey Logano should be fined for the bullshit on pit road. That was dumb.
Oh, ripping the burnout
So
in
he
front
pulls-
of Whitney
Well,
and
did
the
you
daughter.
see when he came skidding
Yes.
to a stop?
Scary.
Yeah.
I don't think that was his wife, right? Dylan's wife, right there. But I think
thought
that was
it
one
was.
of the PR girls was standing
Okay,
right
so
there.
Joey with a broken car. I mean, that thing had 2 broken toe links. I think he was crab walking all over the place. He comes flying down pit road, which now the race is over. There are people milling around on pit road. Crew guys are peeling tape up and getting signs down and shit. He comes buzzing down pit road, stops in front of the 3 stall, yells something out the window, and then dumps the clutch and does a burnout with a completely fucking broken car. There were people, obviously the 3 team jumps off the wall. You got Johnny Morris out there. There was a woman holding the kid.
I think that was his wife.
That was
that was his
Whitney
wife.
and the
That
daughter.
was
Doesn't look like
Whitney.
his wife because she dyed her hair brown
Yes.
again.
She's black. Yeah, she got the black hair now versus the
So,
blonde. Yeah.
like, Dylan's wife is out there with their young daughter. The whole crew is out there. There's, the crew plus 20 people out there, and he rips this. I mean, the video from Dylan's pit box is actually kind of scary because, like, his wife, like, runs away, like in
Well,
fear.
then he's revving the fuck out of it, and the little kids are right there.
Yeah,
so
like,
it's just the noise in general.
he-
That being said, they are not supposed to be on pit road.
True.
That pit road is supposed to be considered hot until the last cars come to a stop.
Correct.
True. But I
So
still.
technically, that's somebody. I think Denny or somebody said that they've been lax about that for years, and it's gotten more and more lax. But that is something that I think NASCAR should take a little bit more seriously. Like crew guys in the boxes, officials. No one
That's
else
it.
should be
Until the last car is
no
stopped.
one else should be on pit road until every car is stopped and shut off.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I get it. You want the wife and kids to run out there. We want the Cash Boyer running across Martinsville front stretch to hug Clint as he wins that race. Like, we want that moment. We want Keelan Harvick in the passenger side of Kevin Harvick's car doing a Polish victory lap. We want those moments, but at the same time, it's, should his wife carrying 3 kids be walking across pit road right now?
Yeah.
Probably not.
After he just dumped half the...
Yeah. Well, no, she needed to get to him so he could use the baby as a shield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You notice how quick he grabbed that kid?
Yeah.
Don Runkle's been going off about that all day everywhere. But so that I wouldn't be surprised if you see some sort of monetary fine for him, because that's just, I mean, we've seen it all year with unsafe pit road.
Yeah, he'll get a
things.
5K slap on the wrist or something
Probably.
like that.
And then we
so
get
we'll
in,
see.
and then we get into Mr. Fake News himself, Richard Childress. What a fucking old shitbag.
Oh, my God.
He's in the press room. They're doing all
God,
the media
there's
shit.
always something to talk about with Richard
They're
Childress,
doing
no
all
matter
the
what.
media stuff. Everyone's tuning in because everyone wants to see what Austin's got to say. And a couple of the press guys, I think, Bianchi was in there, and he said, someone brought up the radio, the audio of Wreck 'em. Oh, what are you talking about? That didn't happen. Richard Childress says this. And then Matt Weaver pulls him aside, and there's video of him showing Richard what's on,
This was after the fact.
This is an hour after the
Yeah.
race.
Well, he's up on stage. Oh, don't believe everything you hear on the internet. I was on the radio the whole time. I didn't say that. No one said that. Did you hear that? No one
I
said it.
thought I heard him say someone must have put that in our audio or something
No,
like that.
At
Weaver
first-
showed him after he got off stage.
At
Yeah.
first, he denied it. And he goes, no, I was on the radio the whole time. No one ever said anything like that. And then they showed him, and I think the entire time they were showing him, he was like, yeah, I don't believe everything you hear on the internet. It's probably doctored or something.
He's like, he made it sound like it was fake news and someone made it up. And then he comes out and says, well, if he did say that, he did a damn good job
Because he won the race.
because he won us the
because
race.
he talked him through it. He won the race.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. That's not how this works.
Denny Hamlin said that his spotter, because Denny Hamlin didn't know what happened immediately. He didn't know he got right hooked. He just thought
thought
the
Dylan
3
came
reacted
off the,
or spun off the 22 and clipped him. So he didn't immediately know it was egregious and definitely intentional. And he said his spotter, Austin Dillon's spotter, came over to Denny Hamlin's spotter because they just saw Denny Hamlin pancake the wall or flat out on the front stretch, get right hooked. He goes, damn, I didn't mean for that to happen. He goes, I think it's my fault. I told him to wreck you guys. He goes, I didn't know he'd right
I didn't
hook
hear
you.
any of that.
Yeah, Denny said it on his
I
podcast. He
haven't
goes,
finished it,
he
so.
came right over to my spotter and
Oh,
apologized
shit.
to my spotter. He goes, I think that was my fault that he wrecked you guys like that.
Oh, I didn't hear any of that.
And then he told Gabe Hart, and Gabe Hart's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Well, I showed Kyle the audio, the Denny's audio and Joey's audio, and you can hear before Denny even says anything, his spotter's on the radio. He just fucking wrecked us for the win, that piece of shit. Are you all right? Like, and that's when Denny comes on.
pulled
and-
up the radio
Yeah.
on his podcast of his spotter. I think Dylan's spotter was still talking to him. He's like, yeah, he just told us that he told him to wreck us on purpose.
Yeah.
And he actually did it.
This is what we talk about. Go back weeks ago when we were talking about where we wanted Noah to land. And we said, we don't want him anywhere near RCR. This is why.
Yeah.
Because you've got the owner of the team going up there saying that the audio that we all heard is fake. It must
That was
be
live
doctored.
on NASCAR's app.
It must be doctored. And anyway, it doesn't matter. Good job. You got us the win. You had to wreck 2 freaking cars to do it and right hook a guy into the fence. But, well, that's just racing, right? Just Childress is that old. He's what you hear about in things where he's that old guard that just like needs to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You all right over there?
In car of Joey Logano.
Oh.
Coming in hot. Yeah. Not great. Not a good look for him.
No, but it's just Childress is just that old guard that's just like, dude, enough. Like,
Yeah. It's ridiculous. It is.
it's painful.
Yeah. So we'll see hopefully tomorrow what the hell happens. But yeah, NASCAR's got a lot to worry about.
Denny did say on his show, he was like, I don't want to talk about our private conversations, but he said that they said they are going to look at everything, like basically kind of like we're going to check it out pretty heavily.
Yeah.
So
It's Joey's in-car coming down pit road is starting to make its rounds on the internet, so you'll see it.
Oh, boy.
He does come up to the three.
Oh yeah, he comes
crew.
in like a wrecking ball.
Pretty hot. They like jump back out of the way like he's gonna hit them.
Yes.
But he stopped well before them, but he was moving.
And my thing is it's not like he did that with a perfect car either.
That's the concern.
What scares me is, let's say he comes in there hot and gets on the brakes and the thing snaps sideways because the fucking toe links are all out to lunch.
Yeah, exactly.
What happens then?
He's going to get a stern talking to for that one.
Well, he did last night. Did you see the officials?
Yeah.
When he pulled away from the pit, he had like 3 NASCAR officials there, and they were not fucking
There was
happy.
another angle I saw of that from outside of his car when he's climbing out and they're yelling at him.
Yeah.
And he yells something back, and the guy's like, just don't do it again. We're good, but don't do that.
Yeah.
So, should be all right.
He was like, I know you're frustrated, but you can't be doing that.
Yeah. All right. Let's answer some questions. If you're still in the YouTubes, fire them off, but we will start with the Instagram, see what we got. Nathan Danforth with a fuck, marry, kill.
Ooh, we haven't had one of these in a while.
The Office, Trailer Park Boys, Parks and Rec.
Ooh, easy. I'm going to marry Parks and Rec forever, dude. Ron Swanson, he's my spirit animal. I'm going to fuck Trailer Park Boys, and I'm going to kill The Office.
I'm going to agree with you on killing off The Office, but I'm going to flip Trailer Park Boys and Parks and Rec. Marry him, Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah,
Love that
I
show.
could watch Parks and Rec at any point. Trailer Park Boys, I almost feel like I aged out. Like I loved it 10 years ago, but now it's
too
kind
good,
of like,
too mature.
I could just watch like a clip here and there. I can't really follow it.
I aged out of it. I'm too mature for that now.
I've never watched an episode of any of them. So
you're up. All right, Sam Valley 95 with a couple. It's finally my time for the race to come to my state. Good old Michigan.
that is a one. Like, it's slowly, all the stuff I hear about the infield there, it's creeping up my like bucket list.
It's real high
Like
on
when I
mine.
have money. And
Yeah, I've just never really wanted to go to Michigan though.
Yeah, but I've heard that the infield is awesome. Like, I've heard it's a great time. Like, that's on the list of like, if someone backs up the Brinks truck and we get to go to a bunch of races and follow it around, and
Real high on the
money's
list.
not an object, like,
No.
I'd go.
Sam Valley 95. Do you think Ford will keep their winning streak alive at Michigan?
Oh, yeah,
No,
where are they at?
because I picked Toyota.
What are they at? They've been quite a few there, right?
Yeah. Like the last 3 years.
Something like that. Yeah,
I want Brad
least.
K to get that Michigan win.
that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Be a week late.
Thought you
for me.
wanted Briscoe to get it.
He can finish second.
He'd be a week late for me though, so that'd be fucking just poetic.
What, Brad?
I picked him this
Or
week.
Briscoe?
I had him this week.
Yeah. If you win next week with Briscoe, I'm going to be so mad.
Flipping this table.
Yeah, this table's going for a ride. Sam Valley 95. If you had the funds, would you attend the Mexico race if it happens? No. Next question.
Probably
Yeah, I'd go to Mexico,
not.
dude.
Absolutely not.
I've heard bad stories about.
Well, I can
That's
fuck
why.
with some street tacos.
No, it's like Mexico City isn't like.
No.
I'd go to Montreal
Nope.
in a heartbeat.
Canada?
Nope.
Yeah, no problem.
I'd end up in a cartel. I'd change my name. I'd get face tats. And I'd never come back.
You were like a quarter of the way there at one point in your life.
Cocaina.
We all have our demons, Kyle.
It's okay.
It's okay. Is that what you meant?
Touche. L98 Jake with a couple. Glad the tire compound showed out. Leads me to believe the North Wilkesboro repave made it weird.
I think we just need to make the Reds
Yeah.
the tire.
Repaves. Denny Hamlin said the same thing.
We just need to make that's what a lot of the drivers said last night, is that the Reds just need to be the tire.
Let's make
Yeah.
the tires last less than a fuel run.
I want to ask, since we're in questions, I want to ask a question.
Yeah.
Do you want them to implement this now at short tracks, like starting now? Like,
Yes.
we'll see it at Martinsville and Phoenix.
All short tracks. Take these red tires.
Like right now.
Both tires or
Options. No,
just the
options.
option.
No, both.
I want both.
That's what I'm
Oh.
saying. They were talking about this on the teardown.
No, I want the options.
They were
Like
talking-
there to be an
Yes.
option.
They were talking about this on the teardown, and Bianchi was like, yes, do it right now. These should be at Martinsville. They should be at Phoenix this year. And then next year, have them at Loudon, anything short track, like that you would consider a short track, even though I don't consider Loudon a short track.
Lord,
but
stop.
What'd I do?
It wasn't him.
Every time it's just the clouds come up this side of the desk.
It's the cloud. It's like in the sky above
That's
us.
where,
Stop.
that's where all his files are saved.
My files.
But, like Gateway, all of those tracks should have the option. But the question was, do you want to see them implement it now? So, like, the
Yes.
championship race will
Yep.
have option tires.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm all
But
about
I
it.
don't want them to go to only the option tire.
No,
I
see,
want there
I
to be options.
See, I would be fine if they went to the option tire because it showed that it works. it's trending in the right direction. But I kind of liked the twist of like pick your fucking tires.
Yeah, you're taking if you the option tire option. I hate the word option tire because they make
dumb.
multiple options.
It's dumb.
You give teams multiple options, soft and hard. You add that extra level of strategy. You only have the soft good one. The strategy's gone. It's the same fucking strategy for everybody now because it's all exactly the fucking same.
It's got a point there. Yeah.
Hard and soft gives you the additional strategy of when to use them, how to use them, strategically, early, late, whatever. But if everyone has the same fucking tire, what's the difference that we do now?
I would just rather just the option tire, the soft tire, and it's just conservation.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If you go to the soft tire, then it's going to show, like at Bristol, all the old guys knew how to conserve tires when we had the Bristol debacle.
Yeah, I like the varying strategy.
No, I agree with you. I want the option. I want both of them.
I want both.
But if they go with the softer tire being the tire, it's then going to have to, it's not just, what do they talk about now every race? We go out and run up 400 qualifying laps. You won't have that anymore. You're going we saw it yesterday we talked about earlier. Suarez seemed like he really managed when he did that run on the Reds where Kyle Busch went like flat out and then he fell off a fucking cliff at the end.
Right.
You know, like you're going to have to figure out that tire management. So I think either way, it's a fucking win. I think
agreed.
Either one.
100%. I think this went way better than I expected it to.
Either make the soft tire the tire or give them both at short track.
It went as good as it could have and way better than I anticipated.
I don't think the option would work at i.e. Bristol because I think the time it takes to get lapped there.
I agree.
Anyone off sequence is fucked. Say you pull a Suarez early in the race at Bristol. I'm going to take the lead on the red tires. First time everyone puts on reds and you're stuck on yellows, you're a lap down.
You're 2 laps down.
Yeah.
So I just think just the one tire. Give me that tire that wears out.
Yep.
It's on the edge. It's fast. And it wears out in 50 laps. Give me that tire all the time. Show up with 10 sets for everybody.
Yeah.
And just see who's the best at saving tires.
Yep.
L98 Jake with the next couple. Has RCR become the new heel house?
He's been the heel. It's been the heel.
I think RCR himself is it. Whoever's underneath him just kind of gets
I feel like
sucked up in
he's
it.
always had that reputation. I
Yep.
mean, go back to Kevin Harvick. But he's always employed likable drivers.
Yep.
Clint Boyer for years. Jeff Burton for years. Kevin Harvick until he left. And then it was after that you had a couple years of like Ryan Newman and a couple guys that were like, Richard is annoying, but I like who races for him. Mm-hmm. Right now, it's like you don't have that balance where it's just like the drivers are kind of like Jesse Love. He's a likable kid, but he doesn't have a big emotional
attachment,
like
personality.
Personality is the word I've been looking for. He doesn't have a big personality to outweigh that.
Yeah.
You don't dislike him as much as you dislike Austin Dillon or Austin Hill. But it's like he's not likable enough to balance that. And right now, they really don't have anybody going for him.
Part of me feels
Kyle
like
Busch, we liked the redemption arc for a minute, but it's like, oh, yep, he's back to being bitchy, whiny Kyle Busch again.
I feel like when RCR retires and let's say Austin Dillon takes that place over, I think will change the whole place.
100%. I think Austin Dillon will do a very good job running the show over there.
Yeah.
I think he will.
I mean, put his dad in charge now.
Right. Just get RC off the damn radio.
Oh
get
my
RC away from the track.
He needs to stop going to the track.
Yeah. He makes it
Which
worse.
sucks because he's done so much for the sport.
Yes.
Obviously, Johnny Morris would not be sponsoring 8 full-time Cup cars if it wasn't for Richard Childress.
Yep.
He's done so much.
One of each
Obviously,
manufacturer. He's a smart man.
Yeah, obviously the Dale legacy. But it's just like Rick Hendrick isn't doing what you're doing. Roger Penske isn't doing what you're doing. Joe Gibbs kind of does what you're doing, but not as
I don't think Gibbs isn't on the
egregiously.
radio.
But
He is.
Richard Childress, he's just in the ear of everybody just bringing out their worst qualities.
Did you want to vomit last night? Did you hear the radio? Pop's proud of you.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, ugh, I hate it.
Joe Spinelli in the chat. RC is the Jerry Jones of NASCAR.
Bro, that is the fucking most,
That's
that is
perfect.
the most perfect analogy.
Fucking perfect.
That is the most perfect analogy I've ever heard. He
It's
is.
wonderful.
He is. He doesn't know when to just go away.
Yeah. All right. L98 Jake again. So someone called Dustin Dillon the impersonator.
Yeah, I saw that.
I saw that.
That's pretty good. All right.
What about Jimmy Johnson?
Yeah.
CTE, man.
Dude, that dude's cooked.
Downriver diecast with a couple. Mount Rushmore of crew chiefs.
Knaus.
Knaus, Evernham.
Yep.
Fuck.
dare I say,
See, you got to put like Jake Elders and Dale Inman on there.
oh, Dale Inman, absolutely.
But if you talk about people that have done a lot for the sport, you put Larry Mack on there.
Yeah,
He is America's crew chief.
he is America's crew chief.
So do we?
I feel like Inman's got to be up there.
Inman, Everham, Knaus, Larry Mack.
I could even be talked out of Evernham.
Yeah. Then you got. See, Mount Rushmore's too hard because then do we have like Harry Hyde?
Yeah, there's guys we're not even thinking about.
And like then you go modern day. It's like Cole Pern. He's just a fucking all-star.
Rodney Childers. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're talking these guys. That's a tough one.
No, we're moving on. If there was a 3-race final round, what tracks are you choosing?
Not Phoenix.
Homestead.
Yep. Martinsville.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Can we race Delaware in November? Because I kind of want Dover to be on there too.
No time of year, it doesn't matter. I would
Has
go
Dover been
one
good?
road, 2 oval.
All right, so
So Sonoma or Watkins Glen?
I'm going Watkins Glen, follow it up with Martinsville, end at Homestead.
No, I would put the road course in the middle.
All right, that could
To
work
fuck
too.
with them.
That could work.
Go Martinsville. No, I would go
Dude, I don't know if I could put Martinsville on that list. It's been shite past couple of years.
That's actually, well, no,
Dover. All right, hear me out. Dover, Watkins, Miami.
See, I feel like you gotta have a short track though, and
Dover's
no,
shortish.
it's not. It's fast as fuck.
That's cool.
I think Martinsville, the fall race, has been decent because of the urgency.
I'd like to see Martinsville in these tires.
Yes, I'm thinking.
Joe Spinelli says Watkins, Dover, Kansas. That's actually not bad.
I was also
That's
gonna-
not bad at
I
all.
was also-
Cannot end the season at Kansas.
I was also thinking Charlotte,
I
Yeah.
would love a Charlotte
like a
championship
400-mile race. So so fuck, like
Just imagine Charlotte, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin wins the championship. Any one of these guys, and you have every fucking team member at the track.
Well, I think that'd be cool to see them end the season with like a 400-miler at Charlotte.
Hmm.
What do we go? So I'm thinking end it at Charlotte.
See, I have a hard time putting Charlotte and Homestead in.
That's my problem too. So I'm thinking Charlotte.
So like Bristol, Watkins Glen, Charlotte.
I think that's it
Yeah,
right there.
that's good.
I think that's fucking
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
A Bristol night race, followed by Watkins Glen, followed by a 400-miler at Charlotte for the championship, with the entire industry in the fucking
or
grandstands.
hear
Yeah,
me
we
out.
can't not talking weather because we know Bristol night race in November would be a fucking
Would be awful.
terrible
Would be
idea.
awful. Yeah, no.
We got snow angels again, baby.
The season's ending in August.
Yeah, yeah.
Or hear
This
me
is
out.
our show. We get to do what we want.
Instead of 3 races, 24 hours at Daytona.
All right, we're moving
Sold!
on.
12 hours on the oval, 12 hours
Next
on the
question.
road
Downriver Diecast. With summer coming to an end, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I'll kill you.
It is a month and 10 days away from being over.
I will say, painful last night trying to get a late 18 in, and it was like 7:50.
Don't stop. No. You're done.
Played
You're
eight-
done.
played-
What?
nope.
Nope. You're done.
8:20.
You're done.
8:20. We played
What
8.
are you looking forward to for the fall season?
Everything. I do
Nothing.
love like fall is fucking awesome. I love like going to the fairs. Like I love those mornings going to work, starting in the day in like a hoodie. And then like, oh, it's warm out now. Like those
I hate that.
I love that.
You got to wake up with a parka on, and then at noon I'm boiling.
That's because you're paper thin.
Yeah,
Put some meat on your
exactly.
bones.
I'm trying.
As a white collar man like Kyle, I now work in the AC all day, so it's not that big of a deal.
Your place was nice today.
Yeah.
I worked it. Wasn't nice 2 weeks ago when Norm saw me and was like, "You look fucking miserable."
Oh, dude, that was what, noon?
So it was noon. It was 95 degrees out. I was 30 feet in the air in the sun all day long. I saw Norm at noon, and he just looks at me and goes, "You look fucking miserable." Sir, I am.
Yeah, Dan
Yeah.
was working at my shop, and one of the guys at work was like, "Hey, what did that construction guy want?" I was like, "Oh, that's one of my buddies."
That's one of the guys I was working with. Who the fuck was that? I was like, "That's my buddy." But
All right, and not a ton of questions in the chat.
there was a couple. It started off, I think, with a Joe Spinelli FMK. FMK, Friends, Seinfeld, How I Met Your Mother.
Mary, How I Met Your Mother.
Fuck Friends, kill Seinfeld.
I'm going with that. As much as I don't
Yeah,
really like
yeah, I
I'm
think
Friends,
that's
sorry
pretty good.
to all the boomers out there. I just cannot get into Seinfeld.
Seinfeld
I
is-
get the comedy.
nope. Seinfeld is literally, I will die on this hill that it is one of the worst shows ever put on television.
See,
it is
I don't-
not funny.
I don't mind dry humor,
It's so
but
dumb.
I think the storyline of Friends is just fun to follow. How I Met Your Mother is goated.
How I
one
Met
of the
Your
best
Mother's
TV shows
awesome.
of all
That's
time.
a great show.
Ending, I honestly like the ending. I hate some aspects of it, but Friends is just a super enjoyable show. Seinfeld, I can watch clips of it and go, "That's funny,"
But a whole-
I can't sit down and
Yeah.
watch it.
This isn't a question, but I did enjoy this. Michael Carteropoli. Imagine being Whitney and your husband wins and you're going to celebrate with him when suddenly Joey Logano slides to a stop in front of you, screams, "Frick!" and does a burnout.
That's not short track
Yeah.
racing.
Joe Spinelli, give me the option tire at Dover. That would be fun.
I don't know if I could survive at Dover.
Carteropoli, I hope the option tires get into the new NASCAR game / iRacing. Mr. DJ, if you could change the length of the season, what are you changing? Making it longer or shorter, adding races, taking races away?
We've done this.
I like where the season is at, like start and finish, but I think we could probably work a couple more off weeks in.
Yep.
I say just chop off the whole playoffs and we're good to go.
We got one coming in late, Sam Valley. FMK, NASCAR Race Day, NASCAR Victory Lane, or Trackside Live. Bringing back the old fucking speed channel. I'm marrying Race Day. I grew up being at my dad's house Sunday morning, making breakfast, hanging out, watching Race Day because it was on at like 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Like
I loved it.
You had like 4 hours of pre-race. We used to sit there and eat breakfast and watch Spencer and Kenny Wallace and John Roberts just bullshit.
Chop
for
it
4
up.
hours.
Yeah.
I loved NASCAR Victory Lane too. I loved how they had the little booth or the little podium right there, and then the winner would come over after the Victory Lane celebration. So I'm gonna fuck that one, and I don't even remember Trackside. I mean, Trackside is kind of what Race Day turned into.
Yeah.
Like those are almost
Yeah.
the same show.
Victory Lane, I would just like more of that for the championship races.
Agreed.
Like we get a little bit of it for the champion, but I want like that driver coming up every like 30 minutes or so to give an update on their celebration and be like,
That's the Brad K.
They're getting drunker.
The
and
Brad
drunker
K
and
moment.
drunker and
Yeah.
drunker.
When he was like fine, and then he wasn't, and then he really wasn't, and then he really wasn't.
Like, do I need a Victory Lane after Richmond?
Yeah.
Say it's not this weekend. It's just a normal Richmond race? No, because we're going to get Denny Hamlin up there and be like, yeah, it was a good race for us. You're not going to get any emotion out of that.
I really liked. I will say I had a moment yesterday that made me smile. I was out. We were playing golf last night, so I went to record the race and stuff on my phone. I was like, oh yeah, I got to hit the recording. To scroll through the Xfinity app and see NASCAR post race for like a half an hour. I was like, NBC, you're doing it right, because normally,
Bro, I swear, I thought they were about to cut it off after like the Joey interview. I was like, we need more.
yeah, no, they had a full. But
Yeah.
you know, when I would do that with Fox, it was like, there's the race, and I'm scrolling through, and as soon as the race was over, it was like Law and Order or whatever, not Law
Yeah.
and Order, but like there was never anything.
Simpsons.
Yeah, The Simpsons, exactly. So I was so happy to see that last night. Oh, we got one last one. Joe, I'll give you this one because you got it in before Kyle started his monologue.
Yep.
FMK. Oh my God. Yes.
Oh,
Fuck-
kill them all. I hate them all.
What?
Oh, those shows suck.
How dare you?
Those shows all
Norm, you're with me.
suck.
Fuck, Marry, Kill, drag race shows. Pink's Street Outlaws and Pastime.
If it's on Discovery Plus in the automotive section, it's probably trash.
How dare you?
I'm marrying Pastime.
That
That's
show
the one where
was
they
so-
guessed the
Yeah,
times,
that
right?
show was fun. I liked that show.
Oh, fuck
seen that
Street Outlaws, like the original one for like one season.
Yeah,
See,
and I'll
my
kill
God,
Pink.
it's
So
fucking
Street
embarrassing.
Outlaws, that was me, Doug, and Sawyer got into that for like, that was our Monday night. Like we would go hang out at his house. We knew it was bullshit, but like
it's such
it was
bullshit.
cool. But it was cool cars on doing stuff. Like the
At
cars were real.
first, it seemed enjoyable for like the first season or two
was
because
the
it's like these are like struggling working guys that are like getting these freaking sick cars together and going out and racing on the street. And then after that, it's like, you guys are all worth like $1 million now.
I
This
like
isn't,
watching.
it's fun for me
If
to
you
watch.
go
anymore.
back in time and look up the shit from them before the show, like
when they were all on Pinks.
they were all on Pinks when they were like just street racing and not on the show. That stuff's really cool. But Pastime, Kyle.
Card
was-
Ropley, if we lose you, we love you.
Love
Thanks
you,
for hanging
buddy.
out.
Pastime, Kyle, was the one where they would have a car, like they would have Norm's truck. and they had 3 people sitting there, and they would go through the truck, say what's on it, what's he
Right,
got for
and
this,
whether you're truthful or not.
and then they had to guess.
They would ask questions.
17-3.
They would, yeah, that's exactly
Right,
what it
they
was.
would get up there and be like, "So, is it naturally aspirated?"
He didn't get the insult.
Yeah, it was.
That's a fast time for my truck.
Yeah. But they would, yeah,
he would
he's
go
like,
up there and be like,
what tires do you have?
This is a V8 swap.
Yeah, I get it.
S10. And they'd be like, "Okay, what's in the rear end?"
And what gears do you
Oh,
have?
it's
What-
Yeah, I get
it's a
it.
Lincoln locker, and they'd have to like decide if he's lying or not.
It was really cool. It was actually a fun show. And then like they'd sandbag the first run, and everyone would be like, "Oh, I think
I remember
he's
like
fucking with us." Like,
Cletus McFarland tried to like replicate it on his YouTube channel, and I was like, "This would actually be fun because he's gonna get a bunch of like YouTubers out to do this, and it'll be cool." And they never did anything with it. I was like, "Damn!" Like, I enjoyed that. Show.
I liked all those shows, but Spinelli, I agree with you. The show was great up until the friggin' Crow mod, and they had all the pro mods showing up in Street Outlaws and shit.
Jesus.
But I liked the first season. The first season was awesome.
All right, well, that does it for the questions and for yet another episode of the Loose is Fast podcast.
You guys are stuck with us until November.
Yep, we got 14 to go, baby.
Jesus, I feel like we were just in Daytona.
I know. It's
And
ridiculous.
we're already 3 from the end of the
Cruising.
regular season.
Cruising for a bruising.
You know what I'm not excited
Before we
for?
sign off, follow us on the socials at
Norm, what are you excited for?
Loose is Fast _pod.
I'm excited for that too, but what are you excited for?
Not excited for DBC.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, yes, follow us on all the socials.
You stopped me for that.
I
by
know,
the way.
I'm sorry. I wanted to give him the chance.
Well, I was
Yeah.
going to say why I wasn't excited
Well,
about it, but
Kyle-
now you can follow us at Loose is Fast _pod on all socials and Loose is Fast podcast on YouTube.
The Loose is Fast podcast on YouTube.
The YouTube.
Kyle's freaking out because he has all these secret meetings with the podcast overlords that say we need to stop by 2.5 hours, and we're at 2 hours and 32 minutes. So he's panicking now.
That's not true.
Is that a line?
No,
2.5, the magic number?
Oh, it is now.
it is. But that's not from them. That's from me.
Oh, look at
Share-
you, Mr. Power over here.
Well, someone's got to do it. Share Norm's wonderful image that he's probably already created a week and a half ago.
No, he didn't.
Tell your mom about us.
Absolutely tell your mom.
Actually, who are we kidding? Your mom already knows.
Tell her we said hi.
Last week on Revival, they do the spinny wheel for the B4B. That's another reason to join B4B is they give shit away every month, and you guys are included if you're an active subscriber to B4B. They had it was a female name came up, and they were all like, "What do we do? We have a female listener." They were like, "We didn't think there was any."
That's
And it was
awesome.
like Deborah or something.
Debbie!
They were losing their like. You could hear the confusion in this room of like, "What do we do?"
I'm Kyle Belcher.
I'm Dan Walker.
Norm Pelletier.
Oh, and hats will be out this week.
Oh yeah, that's a thing. If you stayed this long,
They're good.
Two designs.
Two hats coming this week.